Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Style Esports Season 4 Playoffs, Piltover Division Final. My name is Fennec, joined on the desk today by the lovely Axeman87, Gomie Gang versus Holy Divers. How are we feeling going into game number 1 of this best of 5?
What's up, guys? It's Axeman87. How am I feeling, Finnick? I am feeling energetic. I am so excited to cast this series as best of 5 between these two teams. We all remember back in Season 3 when Gomie Clash Gang, now just the Gomie Gang, went completely undefeated in their group and, of course, promoted up to the Piltover group. Well, they've taken the Piltover group by storm as well, going almost completely undefeated except for one loss to Wakanda Overlords. But Holy Divers have had a pretty storied season as well, only dropping 2 games in the regular season to Team Death Realm and then also to the Gomie Gang. Gomie Gang 2-0'd Holy Divers in the regular season today.
Yeah, that's a bit of a hurdle to beat, or perhaps a stigma to disprove for Holy Divers. Definitely coming in as the underdogs. They do currently reside on the blue side of the Rift. Urgot, Lulu, and Vladimir were the first 3 bans from them. Shen, Lilia, and LeBlanc being banned away by Gomie Gang. Caitlyn first pick. This has to be the Caitlyn Ash handshake, and of course it is, as Gomie Gang 2 pick their support, probably going to be the Karma, I would have to assume. However, could be something like the Thresher or the Nautilus if they want to go that route.
Absolutely here, and we're already well into the pro draft, but Morgana going to be paired with Ash here. And I mentioned that Holy Divers are 2-0'd in the regular season by the Gomie Gang. They did have a little bit different roster for that game, as it was fairly early in the season, I believe. So there might be a little bit of a shakeup here tonight, and I'm expecting there would be fireworks between these 2 teams. And Karma locked in here to pair up with Caitlyn.
Yeah, the Morgana was kind of a pick away. The Caitlyn was the first pick. You can either take the Ash Karma into the Caitlyn Morgana, or take the Morgana away. Caitlyn will take the Karma away. Both these lanes are now less oppressive than if the supports are flipped around, but still a group of lanes to look out for. As we see the Kindred being picked up by Holy Divers, living up to their name, picking the level 6 dive Queen and King combo, as it were. It's Jace, not Kindred. Pro Draft is really dumb, and I am eating my words.
Yeah, and that is, I think you said Jace there where Kindred is, but Jace, an interesting pick, interesting blind pick. I think the idea here is that you can flex this mid. I don't think you really blind pick Jace top lane otherwise. Maybe I'm mistaken about that. Don't see a lot of Jaces, but it is immediately answered by Wukong here, and I imagine that's a fairly Wukong favored matchup, but once again, don't see a lot of Jaces, so who knows? Not me, Finnick.
I believe Jace, if the Jace is the better player, should be able to win that matchup. It's, I think it's a skill matchup, if I'm not mistaken. Just due to the WQ combo, I believe it is from the Jace. Acceleration came in gate node the Q, if I remember correctly, is W. Regardless, like, you do have to play the game really well as the Wukong to actually take advantages of the issues Jace will have post level 2, but you have to respect the Jace level 2 in particular. As we see Trundle Bear being banned away by Holy Divers, Cinder Orianna being banned away by Gucci Gang, so mid and jungles off the board here. With this, I believe this shows to me that Gucci Gang just doesn't want to deal with the Cinder Orianna. They want to pick something a little bit further down on the tier list, and will be Azir. Could be matched by the Corki here, or something else could be picked entirely from Holy Divers. They have the option to rotate the Jace in there as well.
Yeah, Azir, pretty competent blind pick. He's not as good as he has been earlier in the season as a blind pick, but still, fairly solid. I think this is probably fine. It's really on Holy Divers to punish this pick, and it's not one you can easily punish here. Oh, Yone, and see, this is the thing. I feel like that is a fairly competent punish, but what we haven't seen Yone too much. Obviously, he's a new champion, so how exactly this matchup goes. Yeah, I'm not in love with it either. There's a lot of question marks for me. It's going to be the last pick here for Holy Divers. Maybe it'll round the comp out a little bit. So far, I'm seeing just a lot of physical damage, just like so much physical damage. And Yone is going to be delivering some magic damage, some of that hybrid, but it's not enough. So they're going to round it out with Sejuani. At least they have a front line. It's still very physical damage heavy, but at least they can play front to back a little bit here. But Hacker Moon be the last pick for Gomie Gang. I like the Hacker Moon pick here. That seems very solid to me. One of the champions that can outpace Sejuani while also providing a competent front line as well.
Yeah, the thing I'm worried about with the Holy Divers comp right now is they definitely they want to dive with the Sejuani, but they don't really have too much in the way of follow-up or ways to actually help the Sejuani through that process. You have Karma E and Monster Shielding can be very effective as we move into the end game draft. I just really don't like the Yone pick. I think he's undertuned even this patch, so I don't think he'll be able to punish the Azir effectively, especially in the early levels. Azir should be able to just chunk Yone out with damage just from the poke of his Sand Soldiers, but I am interested to hear what you think about that matchup in particular.
So for me, this is we can compare it to the Corki matchup you were talking about. The whole goal of the Azir Corki matchup is just to scale into the late game, and then whichever is the better team fighter wins. Whoever got the most farm, whoever got the most scaling, essentially. This is going to be fairly similar. I mean, Yone scales very, very well, but it's not quite the same as Corki. Obviously Corki is ranged. Corki also does a lot more hybrid damage than I would say Yone does. Yone is fairly physical favored, so it's not as much really. Yone, of course, also shorter range, but a better all-in. And I think that better all-in is what's really going to be the big difference. Depending on how those all-ins go, and they have a fantastic support jungler, keep in mind. This Yone could get very far ahead, but it needs to happen early in the game, because I don't think this melee champion is going to out-farm Azir.
Well, when you have a Yone and a Jace on your team, I feel like you're aiming to win by 25 minutes. Yeah. Jace should be building lethality. I don't think he built anything else or has built anything else since lethality was added into the game. He's going to start with a Ghost Blade, probably get a Dusk Blade after that one, and just build in lethality items, but he will fall off. Just the nature of lethality, AD carries. And you have a Yone as well, who technically has a bit of late game scaling because he does hit 100% crit off 2 items, and then gets a lot of utility after that. You turn it on the flip side, you're up against Azir scaling and Ashe scaling, where Holy Divers only really has the scaling of the Caitlyn. They need to push ahead, and they definitely need to push either top or mid to the point where they can competently split push and force uneven fights for Holy Divers to engage upon Gomie Gang.
Absolutely, and that's something we've been saying throughout Season 10, right? Late game comps are not super great in competitive 5s. It's all about the early game skirmishes. It's all about forcing the objectives early in the game. If you have scaling, it's a secondary win condition. That's what Azir is in this game. It's a secondary win condition. Azir's not really going to hard carry anything. He's like a late game carry that brings something to an early skirmish with the Emperor's Divide. That is the whole reason you pick Azir, right? I mean, you look at other late game champions, both ADCs, you bring something to the table for those early game fights, and then if you scale to the late game, great. But it's not the primary win condition. So yeah, absolutely. It's all going to be focused on those early objectives. And in that vein, things are fairly close. And I think between these two junglers, since we don't have like a huge damage heavy, something like an Olaf or a Trundle or something like that, there is going to be objective control, but it's going to be born of getting lane priority. And so it'll be on these junglers to be able to get those good ganks off in the early game to start steamrolling these dragons together. But we'll see who can do it better. I think I believe in the Sejuani a little bit more. I think most people would probably disagree with me. Hecarim's pretty strong on this patch, but I don't think it's so far apart that the Holy Divers are lost or anything.
I think you have two strong side lanes top lane. You have a strong side versus weak side matchup mid lane, and a double weak side bot. So dragon control is going to be very difficult for the side of Gomie Gang, just because they won't have mid prio for that first and maybe second dragon. However, I do think Hecarim is better than Sejuani, as I am most people here.
The voice of reason.
Specifically at gaining some of these flanks on matchups where where you have a weak side laner and you're up against a strong side laner, right? If Azir's shoved just a little bit in the tower, like even the edge of river, he doesn't even need to be beyond river. Hecarim can just come behind the Yone, and he doesn't really have any good means of escape against the Hecarim engage if he decides to gank that lane. However, both teams have opted for a strong side top lane. I think that's going to be where the Hecarim's going to put most of his focus early until we get to that first neutral objective in the 5-minute dragon. That said, maybe we can talk a little bit about these bot lanes, because I think we've been ignoring them in favor of talking about the solo lanes. So we have this Caitlyn Karma versus Ashe Morgana matchup.
Yeah, so one of the biggest things, I think, for me anyways, you were talking about like strong side and weak side. We can talk about like strong side bot lanes and all that stuff. For me, if there's an Ashe in either lane, it's both weak side. I'm not ganking you as a jungler. Like I'm not ganking like 4 Ashe into any bot lane. It's got a Karma, got a Caitlyn, because this is just not going to go well for me. And I'm certainly not ganking against Ashe, because I'll never get close to them. It won't matter. So yeah, I mean, these aren't really lanes you can play through. They do bring a lot of utility to the table, and even, you know, some damage when you start getting into those later dragons too. So it's definitely like worth going bot lane. But yeah, in terms of like wanting to play through the lane, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. This position, AD carry, and really just bot lane is what I was talking about earlier, like a secondary win condition. It's nice that they get ahead. It's really fun then, but it's not, you know, it's not necessarily what they're looking for here. What you're looking for is the early game skirmishes, rolling those into objectives. And we already talked about all that good stuff, but yeah, in between these two lanes and just the 2v2, I like Ashe Morgana. I think a lot of people give Caitlyn the benefit of the doubt just because there's a little bit more damage with the headshots. But yeah, I just feel like Ashe Morgana is easier to execute, and also just, I don't know, a little bit more like stable, a little bit easier to count on. And maybe that's because I'm a jungler, Finnick, but what do you think?
When you take the Ashe Karma, I think it's a stronger lane than Ashe Morgana, and I think Caitlyn Morgana is a stronger lane than Caitlyn Karma, right? I think that's pretty obvious from the picks. But when you flip the supports, I think Morgana is just a better support than Karma in a vacuum. And yes, you can still do trap layering with Karma, but it's a lot harder to do than with a Morgana, simply because of how Karma has to position so aggressively, and that can get punished by a Dark Binding from Comfy Dog. We are about to load into the game, though, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick break as we do that, but we'll be right back with more of the Style Esports Piltover Division Grand Finals. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Style Esports Season 4 Piltover Division Grand Finals. My name is Finnick, joined on the desk today by Axeman87 on the blue side. It is the Holy Divers, Danny Phantom in the top lane, Stolen in the jungle, Young Walrus in the mid lane, Missing Link 4 in AD carry, and Rare Candy in support.
What's up, guys? It's Axeman87 over here on the red side. In the top lane is Port Stir Fry. In the jungle positions, Conwords only. In the mid lanes of Uxdira. And down the bottom lane, Saishiki and Comfy Dog on Ashe and Morgana. It's the early invade for the Vision. They get what they came for, Finnick, and they get away scot-free as well. And it looks like they'll be pathing towards, actually says wanting taking the reset, so we'll hecker him here for the Sweeping Lens, which has a different name now, but I didn't bother to memorize
Oracle Lens.
Oracle Lens, that's the one.
I think everyone just calls it Sweeper still, so... You know.
Yeah. Was it ever called Sweeping Lens?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I feel like there was like... Because remember it used to like... There was like Red Trinket and then the Red Trinket upgrade. Like there were two versions of it. The pre-level 9 and the post-level 9.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think they were called two different things. I forgot what they were called, though. Regardless, Vision actually gets put down as well towards the Sejuani Raptor camp, so same amount of information. However, with the Hecarim starting Raptors, this does give a little bit more, I think, over to Holy Divers early, just because they know that Hecarim is going to go for the early gank on the Wukong lane.
Yeah.
As we don't really see the Sejuani on the map quite yet.
Yeah, I don't see Sejuani on the map just yet. A couple of revealing things here. Keystone on Conwords only is Phase Rush. Kind of betrays a little bit more of an aggressive playstyle. Once again, going for that early game, so it makes a lot of sense. Normally, if you're trying to optimize for like front line, something like that, you got something like Conquer, but obviously going for that aggressive style, trying to get an advantage in the top lane, but we'll see how that works out for them. Down the bottom lane, everything... Go for it, sorry.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, Rare Candy opting for the Arcane Common instead of the Summon Airy actually on Karma is something that I think is a little bit interesting.
Yeah, I think that could be called interesting. Don't play a lot of Karma, but I can see how this would definitely help you with the shields if you had Airy. Young Walrus with the engage. Gets a lot of damage down to his ear. Starting to win those early... Yeah.
Losing the Conquer, like the second you swap in a hammer form as Jace, you will be punished by the Wukong. But at the same time, this does mean that Stolen can make his way up with the Wukong having lane priority and might be able to turn this into a punish for early aggression from Pork Stir Fry. And here comes Stolen. Moving forward, Flash gets a Permafrost, stacks down. 2 stacks only as Pork Stir Fry will get spotted out by the sweeper. Flash forward the Q, and he gets first blood as Stolen. Now chased under tower. The Conqueror heal comes through, and the double kill, and he takes the tower shot and stays alive.
Yeah, that wave was just way too big there for Pork Stir Fry. That was a massive wave. I think it was like 3 waves stacked on top of each other. Or maybe just like 2.5, something like that. But regardless, did so much damage to Danny Phantom and Stolen. Danny Phantom already was kind of low on health, so maybe the gank was doomed from the start. That wave certainly did not help. Poor Stir Fry picks up the double kill here. He's going to be backing, immediately picking up Ninja Tabby. So it just got real hard for Danny Phantom to damage this Wukong, Finnick.
Yeah, that does not feel great as the Jace. Just like armor stacking in general, not something you want to see in lane. As you see Voxtra in a bit of trouble. Flash forward, he gets it, beats himself out. Solo kill on the Azir for the Yone.
To be honest, I didn't expect that until the Yone picked up a crit item, because normally that's a big power spike for him. But yeah, he's getting the kills before those items even come out, before he's even taking the reset. Hecarim with the gank.
Young Walrus will follow the Voxtra on the gank. Danny Phantom, meanwhile, in 1v1 against Pork Stir Fry. He's just chased under tower.
Yeah,
that's a lost lane already for the Jace.
Definitely seems that way. But I guess the strong side top dream for the Jace kind of fell apart almost immediately, but You know, they still have that secondary win condition on the Yone. They still have the, I guess, tertiary win condition of the Caitlyn. It's going to be Conrad's only starting up the Dragon here. Should be able to take this level 4 Hecarim. He does have Smite. He also has an Azir close by, so. But it's going to be stolen. Maybe Young Walrus looking to interrupt this and actually... Yeah, Hecarim.
Here comes Shishiki, though. Stolen, though. Looking for the stun. Won't be able to get it, though, as Morgana already got the Black Shield stolen. Gets count of Kindred's only, but he will fall. As Pork Stir Fry already TPs into the pit. This should. No!
Oh,
the steal from Rare Candy!
That did not just happen, Finnick. Oh, my God. We questioned his arcane comment, but...
I mean, like, let's put it this way. It is viable. It's just something you typically will only see on, like, aggressive solo lane Karma, specifically in the mid lane. Like, it's just not something I would take on support Karma. But then again, I also take Airy on mid lane Karma and top Karma, so what do I know? Regardless,
more than
really
me,
well done
but...
for Candy.
That was insane. Yeah, no, very well done. They had no business picking up that dragon, but they do get the first one anyway. Comfy Dog with the Dark Binding goes wide. And now they're running for their life.
No longer spell mute and flash out of the way to get out of Mercandy's route. We'll be able to pick up a binding, though.
Yeah, and traditionally, this bot lane has been a very strong point here for Holy Divers, so they're already starting to show that here. Slight CS lead, that doesn't matter as much as really the trades coming through here. And Sashiki and Comfy Dog are starting to get pretty low on health. Yone with the roam downtown. It's going to be 4v2. This could be the dive here, Finnick.
I sure hope so. Young Rowis here. Takes a blast.
I do too.
Flashed out of the way from the 80 carry. Comfy Dog will fall. Shishiki trying to make his way out. Comfy Dog stays alive for the time being, but the dive is coming. The Q from Morgana.
Oh! Did we say dive? It was more like snipe. Missing Link just takes him right out. The Holy Divers forgo their dive or whatever in favor of just using their range.
They didn't really need to go for an aggressive dive there. Like, they already got Shishiki out of lane. Morgana was flashless, so at least the Caitlyn stayed alive if you're a fan of Gomie Gang. I think that's really the big thing to take away. She's able to back. She grabs the Blade of the Ruined King starter item, also known as the Bilgewater Cutlass. Going for Borg start on a comp that only has one tank, maybe slightly questionable if you don't think you're going to win lane in this particular scenario, but it's still fine, right? You have the percent health for the Sejuani, and when the Yone gets either a Phantom Dancer or Hysterics gauge, like, it'll help for that as well.
Yeah, I fully agree. I feel like if there was a game to go just full utility Ash, this would probably be it, but it's going to be Pork Stir Fry. He's just looking for Honey Fruit.
Yep, 4 stacks of Permafrost. Trying to get the 5th. Cyclone gets popped as Conrad's only goes into the fight. Pork Stir Fry turning it around. Back on a Stolen flashed out of the way, but here comes the onslaught of Shadows. Able to get hit down onto the enemy jungler, and it's 1-for-1, jungle for jungle, and I am very tongue-tied. I blame her vocal warm-ups. This was entirely tongue twisters, Emperor's Divide on a young walrus, and he's just out over the wall. It's not how that ability works.
Yeah, no, I don't know if that's how that ability works, but that's how he used it.
Nice root, though. Missing Link 4, forced to flash out of the way, but he's ignited up. Going to try to stay alive, just barely. One auto attack from the Ashe will be able to get the kill on a missing Link 4. Dark Binding, and the Tormented Soil gets the kill. Rare Candy stays alive, but the Caitlyn falls.
Yeah, and he almost got away with it too there, Finnick. It was very close, but didn't quite get there in the end. And here in the mid lane, there was a pretty big roam there from Young Walrus on Yone. Take a look at the CS numbers. He's already back up on top here. So that range not really coming through for Vuxdira. The all-ins from this champion have been absolutely insane. Things kind of slowing down a little bit. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Vuxdira going to pick up blue buff from their jungler. But things kind of slowed down a little bit in the top lane after the first 3 kills from Pork Stir Fry. It's been mostly just kind of back and forth, bouncing, the waves back and forth there. And I guess that's probably a good thing for the Holy Divers that Danny Phantom just started to play a little bit safer.
I mean, I feel like if you haven't one lane on Jace, it's already lost. So Pork Stir Fry knows this and is just going to make sure Danny Phantom doesn't get any kills. It's like a no fun allowed. Toss the ulti down to try to knock him into tower, but he can't find it. Stolen is here, though. Looking for the dive on a Pork Stir Fry. Flash forward, and the Sigil is a swing and a miss. Nice flash from Pork Stir Fry. Stay alive as the Heck Room comes down bot lane. Kind Words Only is here. Onslaught of Shadows not available, but there comes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow on a missing link 4. Gonna tank some damage, but Shishiki also very low. Has to be very careful. Goes down to the Caitlyn as the root lands on a Kind Words Only. He's able to get the trade kill back on a missing link 4 as Rare Candy now trying to kite out of the way. Monster shields himself to stay alive. And it will be an AD carry for AD carry, but the jungle was used for that exchange. Young Walrus, though, trying to find Kind Words Only, has Onslaught of Shadows, and will use it to escape.
Yeah, gotta escape over the wall there with the ultimate, but now it will be Holy Divers looking for the second dragon of the game, and this is starting to be a huge win condition for them here. The Sejuani is just fantastic objective control thus far. Well, I guess you have to give a little bit of love to Rare Candy there. He was the entire reason they got that first dragon, but other than that, Sejuani's been doing pretty good in objective control. Pork Stir Fry might get this entire tower for their insolence, though. He's going to get at least 4 plates, I think. We'll see if it goes down here, Finnick. Oh, there goes his wave.
There's the 4th. His wave's gone, but he's fine. He just needs to keep the pressure up on the Jace and make sure he can't split the push. Meanwhile, nothing personnel, kid, but unfortunately not able to get the follow-up there. Able to get the knockdown on Bucks. But there is the Emperor's Divide, the flash out of the way, but here comes Comfy Dog, gets the root with the Dark Binding. Kind Words Only is already here, and Young Walrus should fall in the white. No!
Oh, what?
No! Dark Binding, he's able to dodge out. Here comes Shishiki, though. He's being chased by Missing Link 4 and Stolen. He's out of position. Shishiki's stunned up. Double kill for Young Walrus as he gets it onto the Ash. Unofficial triple as well.
That was insane, Finnick. Okay. Yeah, I guess Yone wins this matchup.
I'm just, like, flabbergasted. Honestly, just the positioning, I think, mistake there from Shishiki made that play a lot worse than it could have been. Because it probably would have been a 2 for 0 regardless. Enchanted Crystal Arrow going to be a swing and a miss. Bucks Zero, though. Run the shuffle over the wall on a Stolen. Rare Candy is here, though, to give some shielding.
Yeah, Heckram doing decent damage there. He's almost got Triforce completed.
Speaking of
Sorry, you were saying?
Phage items, Pork Stir Fry almost done with the Black Cleaver as well. Stolen. Looking for a gank with Rare Candy here. On the Wukong. Launcher E, use. We'll get the WQ down. Pork Stir Fry, though. Cyclone to disengage onto Stolen. He's gonna try to get out with the Shadow Clone. Able to get another Cyclone down. He gets the kill.
Oh, got him!
Here comes Gekrom with the Onslaught of Shadows. He trades it back out. Pork Stir Fry is still alive, and he gets the double kill to boot. This Wukong is insane. 5-0-2.
Yeah, still deathless on the Wukong here. This is very much going to be the Yone versus Wukong fight here. And to be honest, I'd probably take Yone in that fight. I think Holy Divers is still looking pretty good. Keeping in mind, they also have a very solid bot lane at this moment. So that could be the difference, right?
Not sure about that ultimate, Young Walrus, especially now that you don't have a way to escape from Kind Words Only. He gets the knockback out of the way. TP being channeled, though, from Danny Phantom. Comfy Dog is here, though, to want to continue the fight.
Yeah, and that's a great aspect of this matchup. Voxdira?
Acceleration Gate is his E, by the way. I'm dumb. It's his EQ combo, not his WQ combo.
Yeah, there we go. Ult in the bot lane.
Here we go. There's already here. The Emperor's Divide stopping the flash from Rare Candy. He should fall. Flash over the own wall. Make sure he stays alive. Ace in the hole. Going to be chanked up by Shishiki to keep Bucks Zero alive. Support goes down. Flash for ulti and a flash.
Some much needed gold, I think, for either of these champions, but to be honest, that's 2 Rs for a support kill, and in my mind, that's not worth it. Obviously, these are good champions. That's valuable gold for them. They're late game scalers, so they're going to make good use of it, but double ults for a support kill, not worth it in my opinion. Especially when Missing Link gets out of that situation. They were right there. I feel like maybe putting a little bit more effort into catching out the Caitlyn would have been wise there, but we're watching Stolen take camps for some reason. Direct the camera, please. But next dragon in the game is a little bit under a minute. That's going to be the Mountain Dragon. Now, we'll put Holy Divers at Soul Point for their Mountain Soul. Now, we talked a little bit about both these teams and the issue they have with frontline. Mountain Soul would be really good for either of them here, Finnick.
First serve Prime, top lane tower, TP being channeled as Yone tries to make his way out. Danny Phantom pops the W and a kite back out of the way. Meanwhile, Comfy Dog caught in the Monster Q. Stolen is here top lane. Conrad's only though on a missing link 4. He ends up flashing out of the way. Stolen gets a kill on the Buck Deer in the top lane. Missing link 4 should go down. Bob stun lands on a rare candy. Back into the W from the Ash, and Shishiki picks up that kill. Overall 2 for 1. Mid for both bot lanes, and the first tower did go over to the Wukong. They have bot lane prio going into this objective though. So it looks like it will be Herald for Dragon.
Yeah, and I'm not in love with this trade here, Finnick. You were on Soul Point with this Dragon. They're going to give it up and top turret for a single kill on a single kill onto a Azir and a Rift Herald. It doesn't feel right to me, but it is Holy Divers making their way mid lane. They're going to drop that Herald immediately, saying, hey, if you're going to take Dragon, we're going to get something out of this Rift Herald, man. They're going to be taking mid-outer turret. We'll see how far they can get into this mid lane as the Dragon falls. And here come Gomie.
Turret down with the Azir. Champions Bolero going to be swinging a bit wide, but Pork Stir Fry is already on the Stolen. Gets the root down from the Morgana. Shurima Shuffle in into the Onslaught of Shadows. That's 1. Pork Stir Fry picks up the kill, but Buck Zero is taking up so much damage for the tower as Missing Link 4 picks up the kill. Mid laner for Jungler. It's only the outer turret on that play. Overall, the play goes over to Gomie Gang, and they are 2K up at this moment in the game. NA Jace memes, I think, are about to be prepared because this Jace is behind severely on Pork Stir Fry at the moment.
Yeah, that's one of the things about Jace is that there's a lot of champions where you have the secondary build path, or you could just build Night's Vow or tank up or something like that. What do you do as Jace? I mean, you don't have any significant sources of CC. You don't have any significant utility. It's just a whole bunch of damage, and once you get far enough behind the other damage dealers in the game, it gets real rough for you.
And on top of that, one thing you have to keep in mind as we take a look at the gold here, 3.7k gold lead for the Wukong. But look at the items, they're even in itemization. They're both on 1.5 items plus T2 boots, just because of how cheap Monamune and lethality items are. But Wukong's 2 items are much stronger now, just due to where he is positioned in the game. You really don't get too much out of lethality until you have 2 completed lethality items. In particular, Pork Stir Fry now on a Missing Link 4, pops the Cyclone. Young Walrus is here though, gets the knockback. Morgana is here, nothing personnel kid as Pork Stir Fry gets the shutdown taken onto him by Young Walrus.
Yeah, that's a little ambitious there from Pork Stir Fry. I get the idea about going in 1v2 versus the enemy bot lane when you're like 5 levels up on him, or however high up he is, but there gets to a point where you need a little bit more vision control on the map before you start making plays like this. And yeah, they got rotated on hard and got shut down. First death of the game here for the Wukong.
Yeah, PDIE going to be the build from Young Walrus as well. Really looking for the backline dive onto Shishiki and Vuxtira. That said, this is now a 4v5 game. I cannot stress this enough. Jace is not a champion.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a little bit of utility on Jace. The E can speed everybody in your team up. That would be just about it, I'm pretty sure.
He's still worth less than a Zillion, who can do that and has a stun.
Yeah,
and an ult that resurrects people.
Yeah, I think part of the balancing point a little bit here, at least for Jace, we're talking about like champion balance. I don't know why, but it's kind of a lull state at the moment. There's no objectives up. But part of the balancing point for Jace is that, you know, his damage is so much inherently that he's always going to be like, quote unquote, relevant. Not in this game, but, you know, in an ideal world. And his range is so extreme that it kind of makes up for how useless he is in certain situations. Mid lane gank.
Only takes the Onslaught of Shadows, spears him out from underneath the tower. Karma getting the root down, but not enough to save the Caitlyn.
Yeah, just walked a little bit too far out of range, but that is going to be Ghost there for kind words only. And, you know, it's definitely a good use of Ghost for sure, right? But at least they had to use something. the Ash Arrow, the Ghost there from Hecarim, the Onslaught of Shadows, I think was used. Ooh, Glacial
You
Prison.
can't afford to miss those Sejuani. Flash away from Shishiki to only get caught by 1 stack of Permafrost. Now gonna pop the Q, get some return damage. So an ult for a flash, but that was a... I would probably miss those ultimates because I suck, but you can't afford to miss them in a grand finals. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we got high expectations here and the Style Esports League, but yeah, you definitely got to hit the Glacial Prisons. I don't think Stolen has hit too many at all in this game. I'm trying to remember one that was like really just dead on, but
I mean, he
trouble.
had one that was dead on a pork stir fry, but he flashed. If he didn't have flash up,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I guess that's not a miss. It's just kind of a dodge, but it's going to be Dragon in 30 seconds here. It's starting to look like Gomie are going to have the map control in that area and just the map control in general, but it is Holy Divers making a comeback in terms of gold lead here, and it is about how the gold lead changes, folks. Currently, it is shrinking. Just a few hundred gold now at this point, and tell a lie, it is going to be Holy Divers that have the bodies here in the area for Dragon. They're trying to get some of that bot lane priority, and this should be the fight over Dragon here, Finnick.
Yeah, Holy Divers looking for the soul point. Both split pushers top lane have TP, and it's going to be channeled first, and then get onto the Sejuani. He will be able to get a knock-up. Nothing personnel kit onto the back line. He dashes out, but he's not able to get the kill as here. Gets a 3-man ultimate double kill for the Hecarim, and Young Walrus barely stays alive. Danny Phantom, though, ace in the hole, gets nothing. He's looking for more. The Yone falls, gets killed.
Oh!
So Danny Phantom, triple kill for the Hecarim, and Kindwords only just needs to get a smite down, and he will quadra kill for the Hecarim, and that's going to be evening up the Dragon count to 2.
Yeah, and I don't know what's more amazing about that, Finnick, the quadra kill on Hecarim, or the double kill on Danny Phantom. Where did that come from? That was pretty crazy. I guess Jay still got some damage up his sleeve, but Bucks-Sierra going to be forcing the advantage in the mid lane while Pork Stir Fry goes down the bot lane. This is why you get lane priority before you go for objective, folks, because if you lose that fight, it gets real bad if the enemy team has a wave waiting for him. Now you're Tower Glacial Prison!
He's able to
there we
shoot
go.
out of the way, though. Still slowed up, but I don't think Stolen will be able to get Permafrost. Flash forward Q, and he'll take the kill, but I'll flash in a Glacial Prison for Nazir.
It's something.
It's all right. It's something.
It's something. It's better than the Glacial Prisons we've been seeing. But anyway, Stolen in on Shishiki. I don't know about this. Yikes.
Oh! Make the Dark Bending connect, but a nice black shield to keep off the Permafrost.
Whew. Yeah, you made the comment that this might not be a good board game for Ashe. Ashe is probably one of the few champions on the map right now that really hurts Sejuani. Like just really hurts him.
The Bork is the reason that she's able to hurt Sejuani, and that's great. But like once again, it's like you're building one item for one member of the enemy team who's gonna carry. So
yeah, exactly.
It's fine. It's not a bad item, especially when you already have like in damage from the Azir. Like the percent health does help, and Azir's not really going to get a Landry's Torment until like maybe 5th item at earliest, if at all. So
yeah, it's very much the opposite. I mean, you're building Bork because it's a great item. Like if you do auto attacks, deal damage with auto attacks, you should be building Bork. Bork is insane. But yeah, building it just for the Sejuani isn't like super good. But anyway, it is going to be actually Baron started up here.
Oh, nice ultimate though on a Shishiki, but he's able to get the sundown with the enchanted Corsair. Young Walrus still that'll make his way out. Pork Stir Fry though in a 1v3 scenario. Able to get the Cyclone down onto 3. That's Mantra E, Flash, Pork Stir Fry onto the Caitlyn. Now onto Rare Candy. Is going to be slowed up as Permafrost stun lands. Stolen tries to dash out of the way, but here comes the dash follow from Pork Stir Fry. Young Walrus, though, is here as the Baron goes down in the top side of the map. Pork Stir Fry on the Stolen. He's going to try to get the 2 kills, but he's rooted up by the Karma. And here comes the Yone. Dive under tower. Young Walrus picks up the kill. It's 2 kills for 1, but the Baron goes to Gomie gang.
So they get another shutdown here on the Pork Stir Fry, but they pay dearly for it there, Finnick. You mentioned that the Gomie gang picked up Baron. You're correct on that point. They also pay with missing links, so essentially a 1-for-1 trade. But one party got Baron, one party absolutely did not. Holy Divers not coming out looking very good in that trade. They are now back to being 3K gold behind after a couple bad fights.
Is that Bloodthirster or not Death Stance on the Yone?
Could be.
I mean, there is logic in it. He's about to hit 3 items. Pork Stir Fry has hit his 3rd item with the Guardian Angel, and that is Bloodthirster completed. I understand the concept, but at the same time, even AD carries are picking Death Stance over Bloodthirster right now.
Oh, everybody. Yeah.
Everyone
I can't think of anyone. Yeah, who builds Bloodthirster? I don't know. Draven? I don't know.
Even Draven doesn't do the Bloodthirster rush anymore. Like, he has, like, an Essence Reaver build now, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so. But, yeah, I guess we're going to be seeing the Bloodthirster here. Does Bloodthirster have Lifeline? It does not.
Yes,
oh,
it does.
I thought it.
No, it does not have Lifeline. It has Overheal. Lifeline's
oh, yeah.
Shishiki, able to get the stun down on a Stolen, able to trade back a Glacial Prison as we see the ultimate used by the Azir in the top side of the map. TP's being channeled. Here comes the Hecarim. Comfy Dog not going to be taken down by the Ace in the Hole as Kindwords only gets a kill on a Karma, and the other kill goes over onto Sejuani towards the top. Here comes the ultimate from Yone. Able to get onto 1. Missing Link 4 goes down. Here comes Young Walrus though, and Kindwords is legendary. It's 4 for 1. They're going to continue the push in the top lane with the remaining 25 seconds of Baron.
I tell you, Kind Words Only is really selling me on Phase Rush Hecarim. I mean, he's still tanking out. This isn't just like, all in like lethality Hecarim or something like that. This is still very much a frontline Hecarim, but he's just doing so much damage, Finnick, in these fights.
The man's literally got Randuins.
Yeah, he's got Randuins, he's got Cinderhulk. Like, this is a tanky Hecarim, but he's also got Triforce. He's also doing so much damage. And, I mean, the objective control is speaking for itself right now, even in Dragons. But yeah, they've taken Baron, so.
When you were talking about these comps early game, you were talking about, how Holy Divers picked this all AD comp. And I think Randuins is the perfect item to build into this comp because it deals with both the Yone and the Caitlyn because of the crit passive, as well as the slow when Yone dives in. But on top of that, just armor is how you counter lethality AD carries. You really don't need any other special stats. And this item just gets rid of all the damage.
Could be
caught out, flashes out of the way, but here comes Young Walrus trying to get his way on a Comfy Dog. He is black shielded up though. Flash back from Stolen. As he tries to get on Kindwords only. He's rooted up by the Karma. Will go down to the Jays as Comfy Dog pops the stopwatch to stay alive. Missing Link 4 though, has the Ace in the Hole. Should be able to use it. You can find the Morgana in range. Instead, they're going to pick up Soul Point.
Yeah, this might be Soul Point here for Holy Divers. Pork Stir Fry maybe looking for an in. I don't think he's going to find one. And it gets stolen!
Not again! Not again! What? No! That's just like a Sand Soldier too. And now the Shreema Shuffle on the Stolen. Pork Stir Fry is here. Has the ultimate available as well as the GA. Young Walrus though, gonna look for the ultimate, but he's stopped by the Cyclone. Moved back out of the way. Stolen gets shielded up by the Karma. Bucksteera will be able to pick that one up with the Sand Soldier.
Fennec, that was absolutely huge, taking that dragon away from Holy Divers there. Triple Mountain Dragon.
He literally just stole that with an Arise. Like,
yep.
I think that's even less damage just based than Mantra Q when Rare Candy stole it.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
Because it's one auto attack worth from Azir.
That was insane. Man. Yeah, I have no idea how he was able to do that. But now 3 Mountain Dragons. We're talking about frontline. I mean, they're all frontline now. I mean, how are you going to kill these champions? What's the final count on resistances? It's 6% resistance for each one. So I guess like 18%.
So they're plus crazy. 18 magic and armor resists at the moment, or magic resists and armor at the moment. And they can get one more for soul as well if the game goes on for the remaining 3 minutes 30 seconds for that. Baron does spawn in a minute though.
Yeah, and keep in mind,
finished by the Jace now going into the XX. This just sucks, man. That's what we were talking about, right? Like, what else are you gonna build on Jace? But he just has to keep going, I guess. And he has made a lot of progress. He's 4-4-0. He's got a bit of gold. He stopped the lethality after the Ghostblade because Black Cleaver is better than lethality versus armor stacking, but
yeah.
it's just it's tough. It's tough, man. I mean, he will go for a last whisper item, so we will have a way to deal with the Hecarim, right? Like, you have the Executioner's Calling, probably going to go into more of a reminder, so you're going to have percent armor pen as well.
So, where are we going on Yone with this pickaxe? Into Guardian Angel, right?
Yeah. No,
is that a pickaxe item? It's a pickaxe
item,
right?
No, it's a BF sword item. It's BF sword plus.
Yeah, it's BF.
It's BF sword plus chain vest plus stopwatch.
Okay, so he's got a stopwatch and a pickaxe. No, I'm not sure what this pickaxe is for. Danny Phantom losing a trade the big way.
It's no longer be BF sword, which I could be completely and totally like.
No, I'm pretty sure it's BF sword. I remember that. Gummy Gang going for the Baron here. They're gonna go completely uncontested. Yeah. It is just stolen.
Black Shield to stay away from the Q Pork Stir Fry. Just uses the Cyclone to get out of a potential issue bot lane. Almost full build, by the way. He does have a Warden's Mail at the moment. We'll see what he decides to build in there. Probably going to be Thorn Mail, I would assume. And then completing the Ravenous Hydra at the end. Still just Pork Stir Fry. Feeling very good right now. Baron buff, split pushing in the side lanes. He's in a 1v3, but he's a Wukong who's fed, so he's fine.
Absolutely. Missing link on Caitlyn level 13 here. It's about 3 levels behind some enemy champions and what, like 5 levels behind Pork Stir Fry at this point. It's a lot. It's a lot of levels. That's I'm gonna go ahead and say an item's worth of base stats. I don't know if it is. I'm just making stuff up now, Fennec, but it's a lot of base stats. At least it has to be anyway, 5 levels. But yeah, I think that's pretty much just Missing Link being completely forced out of this game and made basically irrelevant. 3 items. Ooh, here we go.
1v5, pops the Cyclone, dashing out of the way, back in the Soul One. Second Cyclone gets the kill onto the Jace, another Cyclone, and the ultimate for the Szechuan. He misses, now he's on a Missing Link Forest. The TP gets channeled, it's a double kill for the Wukong. Now on a Rare Candy, knocked up, and here comes the Onslaught of Shadows. Yoda gonna try to get the ultimate into the backline, but again, it's a triple kill already for the Wukong, and the Azir ultimate. Give him the Penta! You know you want to! And Stolen goes down. It is the Penta kill for Pork Stir Fry, taking game number 1 in this best of 5 series.
That Penta was sick, man. How many levels was he above like the rest of the Holy Divers? Like 3 or 4? Just insane how strong this Wukong performance was. Yeah, I had my doubts in the beginning with the Jace pick. One of those champions that as casters we don't like to count out because it's a champion that players like to pop off on and like just have massive games on. But yeah, so many Jace games are like this where it's just like, man, this feels super bad. It's not really doing anything, and yeah,
like, look at the Wukong damage.
Yeah,
look at the 31,000 damage, and the next highest was Yone doing 21,000. Now, grant you, if this Jace was any other top laner, I think there is always a case to be made about like Yone could have carried through the mid game, but I think it's about time we count Jace out. Like, I've only seen him like work professionally, even like in the hands of COD, and that is it. So
yeah, and this was a B3 pick, right? This was like a very blind Jace pick. Yeah, this is that's probably the most confusing part of the pick. Is just kind of like, I understand the Jace pick. Like, you think you're good at Jace, cool, go for it, man. Don't let yourself get counterpicked. Like that's not good. That's not gonna help you out at all. But yeah, you could definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel there for Holy Divers. I mean, the Yone performance was massive. Totally shut down enemies here. Bot lane Missing Link was doing really well until the top side of the map from Gomie Clash Gangs kind of joined the fight a little bit. We saw Wukong just going the side lane down there and kind of ruining Caitlyn's whole deal. And eventually they just won enough fights and were able to completely get control of the map, rolled that into Barons, rolled that into victory. Gomie Gang win game 1. We'll be going to game 2 here in just a little bit. But before that, we're going to a little bit of a break and just run some ads here. But don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with the Style Esports League on the Style Esports channel. Thanks for watching.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Style Esports Piltover Division Grand Finals. My name is Finnick, joined on the desk today by the one and only Axeman87. It's game number 2, Gomie gang, with a very nice game 1 victory for themselves. Lilia and Ash being banned away in the first round. How are we feeling, Axeman?
What's up, guys? Axeman87. I'm doing just fine here, Finnick. And yes, it was the Gomie gang that took a convincing game 1 into Holy Divers there. When I say convincing, it was pretty rough, folks. There was a couple hiccups there for the gang, but in the end, they picked up just a solid gold lead, got enough Barons to destroy Holy Divers Nexus, and that's all it takes. Holy Divers looking to make a comeback in this series here, but it's a best of 5, so they got a couple shots. And like you mentioned, Finnick, we're already into the pro draft. Yone banned away by Gomie gang, and Hecarim and Ash taken away from the gang.
Yeah, it is what it is, as it were.
Yeah, it definitely is what it is. Senna locked in by the Gomie gang, and this is one of the better ADCs you can have. Caitlyn was up, Ezreal was up, Jhin was up, but Senna's pretty solid right now, so I'll take it. You know what? I'll take it there. But Holy Divers gonna be answering back with their pick. I like the Hecarim ban. Hecarim's very strong right now, and I can definitely understand why they would take that one away. Holy Divers do not like to get dove. That is not something they enjoy having done to them.
Yeah, I don't want to get dove, don't want to deal with it. The Hecarim was a big factor in the Gomie gang victory in the last game. They opted for the Senna Karma into the Caitlyn Morgana here. I'm surprised they didn't first pick the Caitlyn. I feel like this is just one of the cases where I think they're more comfortable in this lane. It is going to be the straight up Senna ADC, unless this ends up being Karma solo lane or something like that. Olaf being picked up in the jungle though. Jarvan is available for Holy Divers if they want to pick that, or they could put something like Kindred or Graves potentially. We'll see how they decide to respond.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And this is a dangerous position here for Holy Divers. Obviously, Stolen likes to play those tanky, hard engage dive junglers, and all of those do not have a great matchup into Olaf. They get real shredded, real fast there. Olaf burst damage is all encompassing. It is enough to take down even the biggest of the tank junglers, but specifically Stolen, I feel like is going to have a hard time with objective control into this champion. Olaf is just very dominant in terms of objective control. It's going to be R3 Sindri here for the Divers. Looking to get a solid mid lane blind pick. And I like this. I like saving the jungle pick for later in the draft on red side here, especially if you have Stolen. It makes a lot of sense to me. And yeah, I mean, we saw Walrus just have a fantastic mid lane performance, so I don't think they're giving away too much with a mid lane blind pick.
Yeah, Syndra is also a very safe blind pick mid laner as well. Not very easily counterpicked. I mean, like, Syndra Orianna is one of those matchups that you pretty much see in every meta because they both are very safe to pick, and Syndra can be lane dominant in certain cases. I'm surprised if this is actually going to be a Galio ban. I feel like Galio is actually, or Syndra is one of Galio's worst matchups. The Jarvan ban, though, does make sense. You have an Olaf on your team, don't want the terrain generation of the Jarvan available, just because it nullifies what Olaf wants to do. Pick up for Holy Divers, though, in the jungle, actually going to be last pick as they pick up the Shen. Can be counterpicked top, but Shen is definitely the strongest tank right now in the meta. Ornn, you could make that argument for, but it really is the Shen show most of the time.
Absolutely. Zed locked in here answering the Syndra. And I believe this is more of like a roam Zed pick than anything else. This is just kind of a, if this is going to be a super safe blind pick mid lane for you, I'm just going to shove the wave in and go bot and see what we can make happen down there. Now, Divers did just lock in Shen, so, whether or not that will be effective, we'll have to see. And they do have the audible as far as solo lane go with the Akali Zed there. They don't have to stay in either lane. I think probably we see Akali top, but
most likely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good matchup under the Shen, just because Shen Or just because you can keep space with the Kali. Yes, if you go in with a bit of a high fee shuriken flip, it can punish you. But at the same time, you're still able to get your damage across because you don't really rely on auto attacks or on hit effect proccing abilities. So we'll see how the Akali decides to play that lane. Zac being picked up, though, by Holy Divers. A little bit concerning, I think, to see Zac being picked up as R5. I feel like you would have picked that one R4 or even R3 and saved counterpick for one of your solo lanes, especially when you're into this Olaf matchup. Like, it's not a Zac favorite matchup anyway. I mean, it's a fine pick. I don't like the pick order.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. If I didn't know how good Stolen was on Zac, this is a pretty crazy Zac player. I definitely like, I don't know if R5 is necessarily the best, but I definitely like that Zac was picked in the second pick phase. And really just that they got Stolen a pick in the second pick phase. I feel like they got kind of counterpicked a little bit there in game one, and that wasn't super good for Stolen. You could see from the start, it really seemed like Kindred's only had the jump on him, was getting better ganks off, had the edge on objectives and stuff like that. And that was what a lot of the Gomie gang's advantages were from the Hecarim pick and from Kindred's only. I feel like Stolen is going to be a lot more comfortable on this Zac, and it's going to allow the divers to play more of that dive style that they're famous for. Now, whether or not they have the follow-up to play that style is something else entirely. They do have the Shen, which is going to help them out a little bit. But with Syndra and Caitlyn kind of immobile carries, I don't know if they're going to have the follow-up they need to really execute those dives. We'll have to see. Obviously, good positioning is something that's going to help with Caitlyn and Syndra. They have a lot of range between the two of them, and the Morgana going to be helping out lockdown carries as well. But yeah, the Syndra blind got punished pretty hard. And I'll tell you why. It's not necessarily for the specific matchups. It's more so that, well, I'll just ask you, Finnick. Hey, if the enemy team picks Zed and Akali, who should you pick mid lane?
Well, if they pick Zed and Akali, I think Lissandra is probably the best.
Yeah, Lissandra every single time, right? I mean, if they pick Zed and Akali.
Like if it's just the Akali, I think it's Galio if they didn't ban it out themselves. But with Zed and Akali, like I think she's the best anti-assassin mid laner against AD assassins, in particular. But she does well against both Zed and Akali. You could make a Malphite mid work as well. But I 100% Lissandra.
Yeah, definitely. So after they see the R3 Syndra here, they're like, oh, cool. No Lissandra, no threat of Lissandra, double assassin immediately. And we're going to see just how good both Surfry and Vuxdara are on these champions, because that is going to be the linchpin by which Gomie Gang's game here, game 2, is going to be held together or not. Because these aren't necessarily fantastic champions, and these aren't great matchups for them. So it will be a lot of outplays if they want to get any kind of advantage here.
I mean, so it's interesting to me that they decided to pick a weak side top laner here in the Shen. I feel like they're swapping this strategy around. I say interesting, meaning like this is actually like just strategy swap here from Holy Divers. They have a strong side mid, although technically it's not a great matchup for Syndra into the Zed, and she gets outroamed by the Zed. It is technically still a strong side lane that you can play through with the option, but they have the Caitlyn Morgana here against a very much a weak side bot lane with the Senna Karma. We're really just going to try to absorb the pressure, but it is a red side Zac. It is a Caitlyn Morgana. I feel like you're going to see a lot of Zac interaction down there early, but what do you think here?
Yeah, I think you're correct there. I think the Zac probably heads down to the bot lane. You know, I guess it's a kind of a dangerous lane to gank. In the early game, they have a lot of damage, but I mean, this is what you take the pick for, right? It's those crazy ganks down the bot lane and the mid lane, trying to catch somebody out, trying to get advantage that way. And I think Stolen is very good at it. So I think that's definitely what we're going to be seeing is the Zac gank. And to be honest, to your point, Assassin is probably one of the few classes of champions that are very good at escaping something like a Zac gank. I mean, Dead's just shadowing out of there, Akali's just shadowing out of there. So that really does just leave bot lane for for Stolen to gank here.
It's just such a safe lane. Like you have Karma obviously doesn't do any heals for the Senna, but she just has such great shielding.
Yeah.
Once she gets to the Athenes, she will be able to heal up the Senna, and they're just going to be able to sustain off each other. Obviously, Senna, when you pick her straight AD carry, takes a lot longer to get online than if you pick her as a fasting Senna. In terms of passive, however, she does get her items quicker. That's the trade-off you take when you take Senna straight AD carry. That said, they definitely still have a bit of a ticking time bomb in the Zed. Is lethality ADC up against a double tank comp, so Zed does need to snowball that lane. I feel like that's where the Olaf's going to go early, but perhaps you may have a different opinion here.
No, that's a fantastic point. I mean, there's so much burst damage and not so much sustained damage, especially in the late game coming out of Gomie gang right now. You already talked about the assassins. Olaf is also a burst damage champion in the early game. Senna also a burst damage champion. Doesn't have fantastic, sustained damage through a fight. Those autos come out pretty slow. Karma. I mean, there's no sustained damage on this comp, and they're up against this massive front line. It's going to be difficult for them to play against Holy Divers front to back. That said, they don't have to. They have assassins. They have Karma to run Olaf in. There is nothing keeping them from just walking past Zac and Shen, except for some CC, and that's just not going to work on most of these champions anyway.
Yeah, like they need to snowball. They don't have a lot of CC outside of the Karma. As you already mentioned, they have to deal with the very strong front to back with the Shen, Zac, Caitlyn, and Morgana going mid to late. So you have to snowball the early game. They have the ability to do that with these lanes. Zed can move his pressure either top or bottom lane as well. Getting early kills on the Caitlyn does put her behind sooner, and Shen's not going to have a great time against the Akali. We'll see how they decide to opt into these matchups, but before we load onto the Rift, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of the Style Esports Piltover Division Grand Finals on the Style Esports Twitch channel. We'll see you in a bit. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sile Esports Piltover Division Grand Finals. Game number 2. My name is Fennec, joined on the desk today by Axeman87. And after that game number 1, Gomie Gang looking to push the tempo even further with this very early game focused aggressive comp. We'll see if they can pull that one out.
30 seconds until
Yeah, they certainly are. Holy Divers going for the long range invade here, while Gomie Gang just kind of take the short path, but the result is the same. And I think in maybe 30 seconds or so, we're going to see a fight between these teams, or at least part of these teams.
So they saw the Shen sword before it moved on passive.
Oh, this is going to be bad.
So they're literally setting up a counter invade in the enemy team's jungle. Oh my god, Red Candy just burst it down, flash over the wall, and the first blood goes to the Karma auto attack. Young Walrus, though, still already without the flash. Auto, and Vuxdira picks up the kill. 2 for 0. That was really well played from Gomie Gang, noticing that sword and just, like, okay, we know what's going on here. Stolen. Gonna be in a bit of trouble. Takes the elastic slingshot over, and the blue buff will not be his. It is Zac. He doesn't really need the buff, except for cooldowns, but still feels bad, man.
Yeah, and this is definitely going to be that buff going over to Olaf. He's not even going to smite it. Just going to take that one down. But yeah, this is just going to be the Divers playing from behind for at least the first part of this game in pretty much every position. I think the only 2 that weren't there were the top laners. Oh, and also Stolen. Stolen wasn't there for the fight. So, but that is.
But like Vuxdira has this early level 2 because it got the kill.
Yeah.
And there should be an early level 2 on the Karma as well, bot lane. And Karma's level 2 is very, very difficult to play against because Mantra Q into W is very. Or that's a solo lane Karma thing. I'm sure on support Karma you actually go E after Q, but I digress on that point. I only play Karma solo lane, okay, Axeman? Don't judge me.
It's all right, Fennec. I won't judge you too hard. Up in the top lane, poor Stir Fry making it happen on Akali, doing so much damage to this Shen. And I think this one might be lost. Ooh, did I say damage from Akali? Not damage onto Akali here. Jeez. That's a gnarly trade.
Yeah, Danny Phantom does damage. It is still Shen. He does damage early. Assuming he doesn't build incorrectly and goes for the Tiamat first pick up there. Like, it is going to be a bit of a tough lane for Pork Stir Fry until he hits level 3, which he just did, flash for flash. Pork Stir Fry will be able to get the kill, and it's traded back by the tower shot as he picks up 2 long swords. He really just wants to keep Danny Phantom from going for the Tiamat as early as possible, so just making him get items piecemeal is a solid strategy, as it were, for that, but it will probably be the early Merc treads from Danny Phantom. Not a lot of CC from the Akali, but it does help.
Yeah, Danny Phantom coming back in here with the Null Magic Mantle. Yeah, you mentioned that he's probably going Merc treads. I don't know. For me, this seems like admitting defeat. I think you're trading pretty well with Akali. I think you just buy something that helps you trade a little bit better. Botline fighting. Comfy dog and a rare candy.
Down on Morgana. And they go back into the shadows, having done their job. Nice dark binding, though. Onto the Senna. We got the binding back down onto the Caitlyn. Tries to get the Q, but he's stopped by Comfy Dog, who is going to be exhausted up, healed up by the Senna. Rare candy to try to get the rest of the damage through with the Tormented Soil, but he can't.
Yeah, that's just very well played there by Gomie Gang. The poke down Young Walrus is going to interrupt the reset. The gang was stolen. Gonna miss most of those. Yeah.
Conver's only's already here too, so.
Yeah, so that might not have been good anyway. Vuxdira got themselves quite the lead here. In fact, both solo lanes do. So I guess that's the answer to our question: how good are these players at these assassins? The answer seems to be pretty good so far. Let's see if they can keep it up. Dark Binding wide in bot lane.
That was more dodge. Young Walrus, though, able to keep Stolen from going down through use of a nice Scatter the Wheat. Cameron's only acts to stop the back. Young Worlds has been stopped on
Just
the back
walk.
like 4 times.
Yeah, just
Like-
walk,
like-
dude. Stop.
Like, you know the Olaf's there, but also, like, just the Zed stopping the backs earlier is so difficult. Bind for bind at the bot lane. As Shishiki is totally fine. He's a Senna, Comfy Dog is a Karma, and the longer this game goes, the more it advantages the Senna. Or I should say, like, you're basically playing the lane to go even in that particular matchup, and hope your assassins get fed, which they are at the moment.
Yeah, the CS numbers are anything to go by anyway. These assassins are getting pretty big. Level 6, poor Stir Fry. Bucksteer just hit it as well, and Young
Oh,
Walrus.
there's the death mark, the follow-up
This
damage.
is it,
Scatter the
man.
week, blink back out, and Young Walrus will stay alive.
Woo.
That was a nice scatter the week to stop the rest of the damage coming through. Here comes the Zac though. Bomb.
Oh, that was a
Quick shot
great
flash on the way, but that's a
slingshot.
great stretching strikes. Missing Link Fort gets a kill on a Comfy Dog. As the tries to stay alive, will fall to Stolen.
Okay.
The Drake will go over to the Olaf in the meantime, though. But
Yeah, it's just Olaf
Light.
things.
it's life. Signs of life for Gomie Gang at the moment.
Yeah, definitely making a little bit of a comeback there. And kind words only. Trying to pick up this CS now, but it's going to be harassed by Oli Diver's bot lane. And
Farms for Ragnarok, what are you doing, man?
yikes. You got a lot of damage. Not that much damage, though.
You
Olaf
got a lot of
definitely...
healing, not that much healing, though, either.
Exactly. And there's just... it's different. They're different champions. Hakram, what Conrad's only played in game 1, and Olaf. Olaf doesn't have as much target access necessarily. It's more just that like he has the CC on Q that can track people down. But if he needs to get on top of somebody and stick to them, it's kind of difficult. Hakram definitely does that a lot better. But yeah, Olaf flashes in, isn't able to get the kill on the Missing Link, is going to instead get killed himself. Now Missing Link has a pretty good lead. Holy Darius might be looking to play through the bot lane on this one. That's something we already kind of predicted that Stolen might try and do. So, that win condition playing out very well for them so far. Next Dragon in 3.5 minutes, though. They're going to be looking for that one, as it was soloed away there by Kind Words only.
At the moment, though, gold lead still in favor of Gomie Gang. They need to increase this kind of before the 15-minute mark, about 10 minutes or so to get like 5 or 6k more gold lead. As it were, just for the win condition. We see the regang.
It's stolen again.
They're protecting strikes, has the Let's Bounce available. Flash shield by the Karmas. Conworth only is here. Launcher Q slows up Missing Link, gonna be rooted up. Here comes the follow-up route. Missing Link 4 goes down to Ragnarok. Now on to Stolen, and he will end up going into the blob form. Shiki does have the damage as well as Kind Words only. Will he be able to get the last blob before it respawns? And the TP to the minion, not the blob? What are you doing? That's trolling, Shen!
Yeah, that was pretty hard to watch. Danny Phantom almost dying in the attempt as well as Bugs Deer just dumping damage onto the champion.
That's literally just trolling!
I don't know what that was, but it wasn't good League of Legends, Finnick. Comfy Dog and Saishiki looking to push this in. They're looking for the plating.
Flashing. From Young
Oh,
Walrus.
here we go.
Young
Walrus.
Yeah. Well, that means scatter the weak down into the unleashed power. Ultimate names are hard, yo.
No, they definitely are. That's a free kill there over to Young Walrus. Actually, I think they teleport, flashed, and ulted, so not as free as I would lead you to believe, but a kill nonetheless. Poor Stir Fry on the rung here. Elastic slingshot.
Oh,
she's in!
5-point strike, perfect execution. Proc 1, 5-point strike again. Looking for the second proc on a Stolen. Won't be able to actually use that down. Now second proc on a Danny Phantom. Looks for the follow-up damage. Kenward's only is here for the tower dive. Flash out of the way, and Danny Phantom will stay alive. Nicely done by Pork Stir Fry in the 1v2.
Yeah, biggest thing I can point out in that fight there was I don't think Danny Phantom actually hit Pork Stir Fry more than once. It was mostly the vision game back and forth in that bush. And I don't think Danny could actually auto the Akali for most of that trade there. Either that or they just weren't clicking on them or something, because the Shen was definitely not hitting Akali for that fight. Pretty interesting in the 2v1 there, but Poor Stir Fry just coming away with a big one. Ace in the hole gonna connect. Seishiki has like 10 health. How did that happen?
Comfy Dog, I think they were mind gaming each other. Ghostblade though, gonna be popped here. Death Mark down, but he's caught back by the Scatter of the Weak. Should be able to get the rest of the damage with the barrier. Keeps her alive. Luxira not able to stay alive as it flashes over the wall. And Stand United was used, but the Syndra gets the solo kill. Why? Why are you going so hyphy? Like,
this is crazy, man.
He
This
has
Syndra-
Scatter the Weak. You can't go for a Death Mark if she's using Scatter. Like, oh man, that wasn't a barrier. That was a stand behind me that saved her. But still, like, you can't afford to do that, especially when you're trying to push the tempo. You can't push it so far that you end up losing the fights.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that one. Downwards only. And poor Stir Fry back on Vision here. See if the Zac tries to interrupt this. This is not a good idea. Yeah, you see it interrupts it real quick. He was like, what am I doing? Just because you can land the elastic slingshot does not mean you should. And still I'm going to walk away from that one.
Affect everyone.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. We did the pause come out here. I think somebody DC'd. I think it might have been Young Walrus as they just started walking back towards base. But they're back now. And I think we should be ready to get started any moment here. So don't touch
But now
that,
we're up to live feed. We just skipped through 2 minutes of pause. Or back up to the 3-minute delay instead of the extra delay. So we have no buffer. Axeman, we have
Gotcha.
no buffer.
Unfortunate running out of that buffer timer, but pause game. Unfortunate. Let's talk about game state a little bit here. Lost chapter completed for Young Walrus, a pretty big spike. They previously bought 2 Doran's rings as they were a little bit behind, but now with the kill lead there in the mid lane, they're starting to make a comeback. I expect them to complete Luden's Echo soon-ish. Full items for most of the Gomie gang. You got the Gunblade in the top lane, Yomu's in the mid lane, and Manamune there for Seishiki. That's pretty big. You know, these aren't necessarily expensive items, but they are big power spikes, especially Gunblade. That's huge for Akali.
Yeah, especially when you're looking at a Shen who is very piecemeal in items right now, has the Negatron cloak, and is now building, has a Bomby Cinder and the Juvie bead.
Yeah, what are they building, Finnick? Tell us.
I mean, evidently, so because it can't even be Adaptive Helm though, because it doesn't build from Negatron cloak. It builds from Spectre's Cowl. I just have no idea, actually. No idea. Luxira, though, gonna pop the Ghostblade. Is stolen. Gets the Stretching Strike down. Stun lands. Ultimate will be used from Senna, but Luxira will fall to Young Walrus. I think this is becoming a sore point for Gomie Gang right now. Just the over-aggression from the Zed is getting punished very well from Holy Divers, and they're not increasing the gold lead as much as they need to. Stolen now. Gets down onto the Olaf as he pops a Ragnarok, chasing out under Young Walrus. Will kill Potch as the mastery is Rare Candy now. In a bit of trouble. We'll be able to get an ult down and stun up on a Shishiki, but here comes the Akali. 5-point strike. Back in with the perfect execution flash. Flash out of the way from Missing Link, but it's still a double kill for the Akali. Is stolen. Goes over the wall with the elastic slingshot that will be the Infernal Dragon to Gomie Gang.
Yeah, their second dragon of the game, so the dragon lead starting to mount here for GG. Poor Sir Fry looking for the fight on Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom wants none of that. He's going to back off. Stolen in the meantime, looking for Scuttle, but a couple of those items completed here. Oh, no, they were not. I thought they would be. I assumed too much here, Finnick.
You know what happens when you assume?
You get called a bad caster in Twitch chat.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, something to that effect. Poor Sir Fry looking for the fight here. And this time, Rare Candy's in the wings, but he's on the control wards now. The fight disengages. Vuxdira, oh man, doing so much damage to Stolen. Yikes.
I mean, Stolen does the damage right back. You just got to be very careful. At the moment, the Zed. Look, man, he's only 400 gold ahead of the Syndra. Does not feel great.
Yep.
Only power not going to be used by Young Walrus in the mid lane in the meantime. As we have another pause. Apparently, Missing Link 4 froze.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that, at least on my screen anyway. This like just kind of standing there. But that's not going to work out for them for sure. So, Seishiki and yeah, okay, here we go. So we're back into it now, and no real repercussions from the pause. Actually, it's an all in the bot lane from Gomie. They are going to be.
I think it's an all in.
Yeah, it looked like they were positioning aggressively. We'll say that. But
you don't all in that lane at all.
Yeah, yeah. There's not a whole lot of all in potential, but yeah, things continue to progress. These trades are definitely favoring Gomie gang in the bot lane so far. A lot of that's down to the shielding and heals from the lane. It's blue donated over to Young Walrus, and still no items completed by the Syndra. Starting to ask myself where the money is going. I guess tier 2 boots would be the best answer, but take a look at the gold real quick. Yeah, I got 1,400 in pocket. That makes sense. Now it's Conrad's only looking for the gank in the top lane. This is gonna be a hard gank, man. Shen is not an easy gank.
Vuxdira was trying to bait Danny Phantom forward, but he just couldn't. And news just in, we hit 800 followers on Twitch, so thank you very much to everyone who has been following us here at Style Esports.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks for the follows, guys. But poor Sir Fry with the re-engage. He's gonna get stunned up. Nothing else comes of the trade, but gotta be careful there on the Akali. Syndra starting to do a lot of damage. Dark Binding gonna go wide in the bot lane. Just a lot of trades coming out. Most of the map is in a lull state at the moment. Trying to keep track of items, tracks, and everything like that. Here's something we can look at. So
Sunfire Cave.
Yeah, Sunfire Cave. There we go. That's a good one.
I mean, it was gonna happen out of the Bombing Center anyway. It's just like, it's just a weird way to get to that item, I think. On Rare Candy, but he's able to stay alive. A nice ultimate follow-up from the Shen Flash to try to tank up the damage from Comfy Dog, but the Unleashed power is already there. As Comfy Dog now a bit of trouble here. Gonna pop the stopwatch as Cameron's only is here with Shishiki. Comfy Dog will go down to Missing Link 4. Akali too busy splitting on the top lane to make her way down for the fight.
Yeah,
Vuxdira gotta be less hyphy.
Definitely that point. But also, ooh, Dark Bind. Oh, yikes. That's just rough. Stolen with the CC onto the Akali.
I don't know about this one, Chief.
He's got his team.
It's a 3v1 right now, but Akali is just so slippery. It's going to be hard to chase that one. Meanwhile, Shishiki Missing Link 4 traded out in the bot lane. Porkster Fry not opting for the back. 5-point strike. Shuriken flip. Now on the Stolen. Is smited up back in with the 5-point strike. Shuriken flip. The perfect execution and a rampage down onto the Syndra. 5-point strike now down onto Danny Phantom. Pops the Shroud. Rare Candy is here. Might be looking for a Dark Binding, and he Shuriken flips away as Kenmer's only's here. A 1v3 and a 1-for-0. Pork Stir Fry. How are you only Mastery 6? Hello?
Yeah, I'm asking myself that right now. Stolen missing. The knock him on the Vuxdira is going to get stretching strikes anyway. So fight disengages.
So earlier in the game, we're like, oh yeah, Olaf doesn't have a lot of like engage, right? But you still have a Karma, right? And she still has E. That is kind of his engage. I hesitate to put Gomie gang in the lead here because they have 5k at 17 minutes, which isn't bad for their style of team comp. They can't take any 5v5s, and you have one item on the Caitlyn, you have Luden's Echo on the Young Walrus for the AoE damage, and the Zed only now has parts for Death Stance. It's going to be tough. Rotator gets taken by the Olaf from the top side. That means go for the Mountain Dragon. Pork Stir Fry on the links, though. Going in with the ultimate down on a Missing Link 4. He will flash, follow up. Gonna look for the second bit of the perfect execution, the 5-point strike. Perfect Stir Fry with the perfect execution. 5-point strike now on Rare Candy. A second one gets the kill on the Morgana. Scatter of the weak, but here comes back in with the Shuriken flip as the Death Mark lands into the 5-point strike once again for the Akali. Kind words only. Gonna pop the Ragnarok as they try to get the last bit of damage down onto the Zac. He will end up reforming himself. Kind words only cannot get the axe, make it connect. Meanwhile, no, the Let's Bounce. Bucks, you're right, you can't do that.
Danny looking for the kill here. He might find it, to be honest. The Shadow's a long cooldown. Nah, Bucks Zero actually might be outplaying themselves here. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's gonna disengage to there as Bucks Zero channels the back. And yeah, that was just a hype fight, man. I mean, most of Holy Divers goes down there, but you know, also they lose Kind Words Only, which I believe was shut down gold.
Oh, this man's going Righteous Glory.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
That's like, I like that. I like that quite a lot.
I don't like that. Nope.
No, I like it. I love it. You have Righteous Glory plus Mantra E, you are just zooming into the back line.
Yeah, definitely.
Integration.
Yeah, and he is very far ahead still. I don't think, you know, just continuing to stack the damage and tank stats, stuff like that would be necessarily useful, but still don't love it. Here we go.
Ragnarok,
yeah, he's zooming.
Dark Binding can't stop a Ragnarok target. Missing like 4. Down very low. Conrad's only picks up the kill. Now Rare Candy will be slowed up by the axe. Trying to find the follow-up as Vuxira is here. Will pick it up with the Shadow.
Yeah, and that's one of the things is that we've kind of that we need to unlearn, I think, is that it's cool to say, hey, our top laner's in the side lane, he's just going to teleport if we get into trouble. That doesn't work if the enemy team has 2 assassins, right? You'll be dead by the time that teleport is done channeling. You have to stay with your team. It sucks because you're Shen and you want to send a side lane and teleport in, but you can't. You literally just can't. If your front line isn't on hand constantly, your team will die before they ever teleport there.
Yeah, like Stand United is great, and I understand the use, but like, you use it on the Caitlyn who was black shielded. You had double shielding, but black shielding doesn't really help all that much against Olaf. So, just
yeah, definitely. I mean, Stolen wasn't there either, so they didn't have a front line to begin with. So the carries are instantly on top of Missing Link, and yeah, I mean, they win these 5v5s by playing front to back. They're not doing it. You have to put the Stolen in. Yeah, you have to put the Zac. You have to put the Shen in front of everybody. This like arriving last second thing to save the carries just isn't going to work anymore. It's too much damage on GG right now.
Yeah, there's Kali in particular. 2 items now. Leandry's Tournament was the second item here. I think good restraint, not going for the Morello Nomicon. I feel like even the in this particular game, because you have 2 people who are stacking MR, like even the Oblivion Orb is a bit much. So I like the recognition from Pork Stir Fry here. We'll be going into what appears to be a Banshee's Veil as the next item to help with the Syndra, as she is approaching her second item as well.
All right, here we go. There's an 8k gold lead now for GG. And that is pretty commanding at 22 minutes. You already mentioned about Dragon Soul. But Baron has spawned now. And it's looking like Gomie Gang are setting up some vision control around that. They're starting to group around the objective. Might be looking for a Baron take here. Keeping in mind, this... Oh, here we go. Yeah, Olaf found what they were looking for.
He's not able to get the Dark Binding, and he will just melt. The Shishiki Pork Stir Fry on the top side will be able to get some damage down onto Stolen. We will try to take the Elastic Slingshot over, but the Blast Cone takes him right back into Shishiki. One more Q, one more auto. The Shen gonna pop the Stand United. Shishiki a bit far forward here, might be in trouble. Here comes Pork Stir Fry, though. Danny Phantom tries to make his way onto Shishiki. Can't find the kill. Pork Stir Fry, though. Ace in the hole. Follow up, and the damage is there from the Unleashed Power and the Syndra. But here comes the Zed. Gets taken back out by the Scatter of the Weak as Young Walrus will fall to kind words only. Danny Phantom will not be able to get the taunt down. And the healing keeps Vuxdira. Love half health. Root lands from the Senna. Kind words only. Gonna look for the follow-up damage onto Danny Phantom. Vuxdira taken down by the tower shot. Shut down onto Danny Phantom there. They do take 2 towers for it, though.
Yeah, they get the double turrets there, and in the most important lane too, right? So very impactful here. That really blows the map up and wide. Yeah, I mean, Gomie gang, what else is there to say? I think they have pretty much every advantage going for them. They're set up beautifully to be able to end this game pre 30 minutes, but you know, they don't really have to either. I don't think Caitlyn and Syndra are scaling so hard that they have a timer on this game. Normally we'd be making comments like, you know, the Zed's falling off, the Olaf's falling off. They aren't really. They're so far ahead. So I don't really think that'd be much of an issue. And I think the best that Holy Divers can hope for in this game too is getting a pick, because there's shutdown gold on Pork Stir Fry, on kind words only. They can look for that as a comeback mechanic, but other than that, you got some tools to be able to steal objectives. That might be another avenue you go through, but there is definitely not a whole lot remaining for Holy Divers to make a comeback in this game.
Mountain Drake spawning in under a minute here. Pork Stir Fry in the sideline. Doing things. Vuxdira, though. Be rooted up, pops the stopwatch. Missing Link's already here with the follow-up root. Death mark down on a rare candy, but he's stunned up, and Vuxdira will end up falling. Missing Link 4 picks up the kill.
Yeah.
Oh, back on a Young Walrus. Sand Unite gonna be popped. Young Walrus goes down first. Stolen. Now gonna be rooted up by the Karma. 5-point strike gets the damage down. The second proc at the 5-point strike. Looking for a bit more, and that will be the Zed down. I should say the Zac. Zed was already dead. Or so I've read in his head. It was time for bed. But this is a 5-game series, and this is only game number 2.
Yeah, true poetry there, Finnick. You're making it happen, but Gomie gang, they're taking this in-hit, man. I don't know what Holy Divers can do about it, but it ain't much, that's for sure. It ain't Phantom.
Oh, looking back down onto Shishiki, but he can't.
That's a lot of damage.
Flashing back in, trying to get Missing Link 4, Danny Phantom, looking for Shishiki, the shutdown lands onto the Akali. Shishiki will be able to kill onto Danny Phantom. It's 1-4-1, but gold does advantage the side of Holy Divers. They do miss out on the soul for this one, though.
Yep, Missing Link and Rare Candy still on the chase. They're gonna back off now. But look who's soloing up Dragon. This is Dragon's Soul as well, folks. It goes down. Stolen almost got there in time, but not quite. That's Mountain Soul. That is a lot of tank stats and the passive shield on top too. And I mean, you know, I don't think we made the argument this game, but we're talking about frontline here. Now all of a sudden, Gomie Clash Gang, they don't need it. Not anymore. And that poke damage coming through from Caitlyn and coming through from Syndra is not going to mean a whole lot anymore. We'll see. There's a couple successes there from Holy Divers, but I don't think it's enough to really bring them back in the game.
Why is there a second item Rylai's from Young Walrus? This is like not good at all on Syndra.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I guess we can talk about that for sure. Vuxdira gonna be escaping Stolen here, but there's a couple things coming down that are a little questionable, but you know, I think this game was so strange that itemization might not be enormously important. I mean, they're looking for a pick, right? If you're Holy Divers, you're looking for a pick. Rylai's is going to help that, but I think in the pick scenario, if you're Syndra, you're looking for more of the blow up, just the burst damage. So yeah, I don't know. I guess arguments for both sides, and kind of leave it up to whatever you think. Danny Phantom going in for the fight on Pork Stir Fry, but
I don't think you want to do that, Chief.
yeah.
Even on a 1v2, Young Walrus is pretty far down. Buxtero, though, 1v3 top lane, will be caught up by the Let's Bounce. Blinking away. Comfy Dog is here, as is Keywords Only. Stolen! Ends up getting caught back by the Death Mark. Rare Candy gonna pop the stopwatch as Buxtero looks for the follow-up damage. Stand behind me. Now onto Rare Candy. Will be able to complete. Gets a two-man taunt, but the root's already down onto Stolen. Stolen will fall as Rare Candy is the next one. Buxtero picking up both of those kills. Kind words only now on to Danny Phantom. He tanks up the damage, but unfortunately, you can't tank up a 1v3. The clean ace comes out for Gomie Gang, and they should be able to take game number 2. Sakali already had the bot lane splitting in and pushing in.
Yeah, this should be the end of the game here for Gomie, and there will be one game left to play that before Holy Divers concede the series here. And that will be coming up in just a little bit. Yeah, this is definitely the end of the game. I mean, there's nothing Holy Divers can do here.
Yep. That's going to be all 3 inhibs down. Stolen. Look for a Let's Bounce. Pork Stir Fry was not caught in that one, though. Nice stretching strikes. He looks for the perfect execution onto the back line. Stolen will end up going low, but no kills over as the Nexus falls. And Gomie Gang, with the 2-0 start to the best of 5 series, I don't have many words to say about that game, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how Assassin games go, and why a big reason why I didn't like the meta in like season 9. Well, much of season 9, not the entire season 9 anyway, it's just the kind of Assassin meta. There's not a whole lot to be said. I mean, people just kind of blow up, and once they get ahead enough, it's over. So yeah, that's one of the biggest problems with the R3 mid lane pick, the Blind Syndra, is that you don't get the Lissandra. But there was also just a lot from the Holy Divers in terms of macro that could have been better. I mean, you win this by playing front to back, I mean, into the enemy team, because they can't do that, right?
They didn't have any 5v5s at all. They just didn't take any.
Exactly. You got to go for those fights over the objectives, and definitely can't give up Dragon Soul. Not in this team comp, right? You have Shen that's supposed to be coming bot whenever they can, whenever there's a skirmish. Stolen on Zac, supposed to be creating those skirmish situations in the first place, and they didn't roll that into Dragons. That's what you have to do, right? The few times they had skirmishes, Olaf was soloing Dragon. The few times they actually won those skirmishes in the bot lane, Dragon wasn't even up. So, yeah, the comp probably better than GG's, but the execution definitely wasn't. Also, just the individual performance too.
I think it's a better late game, but you still pick. It's a better late game, but you still have like not a great early to mid game on that comp, you know?
Yeah.
Like they just power spike at different times. I think Pork Stir Fry really just kind of carried this game on his back, is probably the best way I could describe it. Like, we can talk about the macro and the lack of dragon control all we want, but like Vuxtira wasn't really snowballing all that hard on the Zed. They really only got the snowball off on the Akali. That's all they really needed to do here. And like, there's just no stopping it with this particular team comp from Holy Divers. You don't have a Galio or a Lissandra, right? Which obviously we mentioned those early to deal with the Akali, but you just don't have any form of quick peel. Like even something like a Braum or like a what else would be really good here, like support wise, like a Braum or a Leona would have worked wonders for this comp as well. We'll see though. Going into game 3, we will take a quick break though, so stay tuned. We'll be right back with more of the Piltover League Grand Finals right here. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Style Esports League Grand Finals for the Piltover division. My name is Finnick, joined on the desk today by the lovely Axeman27, or Axeman87, excuse me, I apologize for that. We're into the picks and bans. Game number 3, Gomie Gang currently up 2-0. Lilia LeBlanc being banned away, Vladimir being banned away by the side of Holy Divers. Next ban, I believe, was going to be a Nautilus, but Pro Draft bugged. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Olaf ban. That's Olaf.
Gotcha. Okay, so the Olaf ban coming through here, not gonna be able to be picked by GG. And the Holy Divers, after losing the game, but anytime you lose the game in South Esports League, you get to pick side selection. So they've been actively choosing red side. It hasn't worked out for them.
Don't
too
R5
well.
back. Just don't R5.
Yeah,
Like,
so
don't R5
the
your jungle
R5
at all.
yeah, it was definitely good. I mean, the Zac was definitely way better than Sejuani, and Solon had a much better game, but they still hard lost top, and mid wasn't good enough to the point where it carried them through the game, right? So
Yeah, just
yeah,
just don't R5 your jungler, like, at all, please. I swear. R3, R4 is fine, depending on how you want to pick the solo lane that's going to get blinded. But like, don't blind pick up your solo lanes, for the love of God. If you do this game, I'm going to have an aneurysm. That said, Jhin Nautilus actually picked up by Holy Divers, despite Caitlyn Morgana being available. So it will be Senna Morgana from the side of Gomie Gang. Interesting to see the Jhin Nautilus. Nautilus, I guess, is fairly common right now, but like the Jhin, kind of fringe at the moment. So I suspect, just going back on comfort for Holy Divers, is Gomie Gang have to pick. Will be the Orianna blind here.
yeah, and this is a fun blind pick. You know, I like this here. Jhin Nautilus, I like this lane. I don't think a lot of other people do, but I like it. J4 picked up for Stolen as well. It's looking like a pretty solid draft for Holy Divers so far. But yeah, I mean, Gomie Gang has been so dominant this series. I'm still waiting for that wow factor for something to really
Orianna's
pop.
Lux, apparently, from Gomie Gang. I would have
Okay.
preferred the Orianna blind, actually, but
Yeah, I definitely would have as well.
Hecarim being banned away here by Holy Divers as well. I mean, it worked so well for them in game number 1, so no surprises there. Unless you're planning on taking Morgana mid lane, like, I don't know. Mordekaiser being banned away by GG here. We'll see how Holy Divers wants to continue this one.
Yeah, and it's we should mention that the role swaps have come through here for Gomie Gang. Poor Stir Fry has been in the top lane. All game is now in the mid lane. Buxteria, who is mid, is now jungle. Kind Words only was jungle, is now top. Saishiki and Comfy Dog are still in the same roles. So
This is just
that's-
super disrespectful. Like, all right.
I mean, I have to agree. I mean, it's a little strange, but I don't know.
It's not that straight. It is just insane amounts of disrespect. Like, flat out. I do not like this at all. I think you are in a grand finals. You are being streamed. You should have some sense of professionalism in your play and how you decide to do things. If you think you're going to quickly 3-0, don't extend the series any longer than it needs to be extended. If you believe that you are that much better a team where you can just role swap game 3, you should not be doing that. We see the Lucian solo lane being picked up by Holy Divers, but like, don't do this. Just don't do this at all. Sorry to be super, negative in stream here, but this is just the way the teams have been talking in chat has been souring my mood, and this is
yeah.
to say the least. This is just it is the worst of BM. I think we'll see. Aatrox being picked up in the top lane for Gomie Gang, Graves in the jungle, Lucian. Once again, going to be a solo laner. Don't know if it's going to be mid. or top lane quite yet. We'll see what lane he'll be in based on what Holy Divers picks. I feel like Lucian's probably going to be put into Lux, and indeed it will be Kennen into the Aatrox. I do quite like this pickup in Aatrox. It was kind of the Aatrox counter before we had the Kled changes originally. So it does feel very nice as we are about to get into the game, or into the in-game draft.
We certainly are, yes, and this is a couple strange picks from both sides, but I guess that's kind of down to what you were talking about, just the BM factor a little bit, and maybe some expectations for how this game is going to go.
I don't think Holy Divers was really BMing here, right? Like Holy
No,
Divers draft isn't really BM. I think solo lane Lucian is actually fairly good in the Lux. Kennen's a good pick into Aatrox. Like Jarvan's solid. Jhin Nautilus is solid. They have good front to back. They have good engage with the Jarvan Nautilus, which is something that they really kind of just haven't had the other games. They're fixing kind of some of the issues with their draft. They have a good early game in this Lucian Jarvan combo. They have a way to scale in a mid and late game with team fights with the Jhin Kennen. Really depends on if they can execute on that. Meanwhile, Gomie gang just a Lux pick. Like Aatrox is out of favor, but it's fine. He's an okay blind pick. If you know the other guy's not going to play Kled. Graves, fine into Jarvan. Senna Morgana, fine. It's just this Lux pick and the lane swaps just absolutely has me flabbergasted.
Yeah, definitely not great, but fans of Style Esports League will know how I feel about Aatrox, and it is not good. We'll see if Danny Phantom can pull this one out. Against Kind Words only in the top lane. I think this is a good matchup for Kennen, but I don't see these champions a lot, especially not into each other. But I'm pretty sure it's Kennen favored. It might be a bit of a skill matchup.
It's the same way Karma's favored against Aatrox. You're just able to keep distance and dodge out his abilities very easily.
Makes sense to me, but yeah, Holy Divers, at least this game with a lot more weapons, I would say. In the past, they took Jace up in the top lane, which wasn't super good, I don't think, but in that last game, I think maybe they were lacking a little bit of damage, at least in terms of going up against... Yeah, in relation to what Gomie had, it was definitely less damage. So there's no lack of damage here. It is all damage all the time. Both sides kind of lacking front line, to be honest. But hey, that's... are we in tank meta? No, I don't think so. Doesn't seem that way.
If Holy Divers... or this really comes down to, I think, the Kennen and the Lucian. When it comes to skirmishes, team fights are really going to be on the Nautilus Jarvan and how well you're going to be able to follow up on that. But the Kennen and Lucian and skirmishes, like how well are you going to be able to cut the Aatrox? And the answer to that is, if played well, like both his champions should not have a trouble cutting the Aatrox, and the rest of the side of Gomie gang isn't really going to be able to do too much against that. Especially once again, that is Lux, not Orianna. I actually like Orianna in this comp. I don't like Lux. But we shall see. Still waiting on readies from the teams to get into the in-game draft momentarily. What are your thoughts on these lane matchups, though? We already briefly talked about top lane. Mid lane, it will be the Lux-Lucian matchup.
I think this should go to Lucian, but something I've been saying a lot tonight. I don't really see that matchup too often, but yeah, I think this probably goes to Lucian. There's obviously a lot of damage on the Lux. They can land the snare enough and just get the poke down, then maybe something happens here, but I don't think so.
Yeah. We are into the endgame draft, though. Lucian, I think, is a fine solo laner in a Lux. Obviously, with the Lux being blind picked, it can be punished. Lucian solo lane can be punished by the likes of a Veigar pretty easily, so I like saving this one. I like I like this pick in this instance as well. I think it's very good. Bot lane, though, I think we should talk a little bit about this Jhin Nautilus, because it's not very common in the current meta. So what are your thoughts on this bot lane?
So for the bot lane, I think the biggest thing is probably just going to be how Jhin and Nautilus can execute on the advantages that their champions bring to the lane. That seems fairly obvious, but what Jhin and Nautilus bring is a lot of lockdown and also a lot of burst damage to back that up. Normally when you see Nautilus, it's with champions like Ashe, champions like, oh goodness, mostly just Ashe. I don't think I've seen Nautilus with something I really liked. Sivir would be a good example. And they don't really have that burst damage factor that Jhin is going to have. I mean, that is a perfect complement to all the lockdown Nautilus has, is just fourth shot, right? You walk in, you shoot it, you're gone. Whereas something like an Ashe would have to, drop W, comboed into Q, autoed 5 times. It's going to take several seconds to be able to get this trade down. No, Nautilus Jhin's hook, fourth shot, that's it. That's the trade. That's the whole trade. So very short trades, very powerful ones, and I think that's going to give them a little bit of an edge here. Now, GG, this is the bot lane that's just crazy trades. And Dark Blinding into Senna damage, that's, like 3 autos, I think, from a Senna in the early game. Is 4 seconds. It's a lot of damage going out. It's going to take more time, but that doesn't really matter into Jhin, who isn't going to be able to make use of that time to trade back more damage.
Yeah, and I hope to see some interaction bot lane. I think that's not really going to be a focus from both these junglers, just due to the way that the Jarvan probably wants to play around mid. This is a pretty straightforward play through mid comp from the side of Holy Divers. But we look towards this jungle matchup. We have Grace versus Jarvan. I would say a Grace favored matchup, but he has kind of fallen out of favor recently. So what are your thoughts?
I think Graves is fine here. I'm a little worried that they're starting to stack towards that physical damage that Holy D was kind of making the mistake of in game 1, was that they just had all physical damage. They didn't really have a whole lot else to offer. They do have Lux, Report, Stir Fry. I think that's going to be a big point of damage for them. Like we said, though, I think Young Walrus takes this lane, at least in the early game anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the Graves pick is probably fine. It definitely, well, or at least it should have cleared J4, especially if Stolen is going for a lot of early ganks, which he should. And that is going to enable them to have a better late game. And that's really what this is a late game comp. With exceptions like Aatrox, who are looking for, more of a snowball. I think Lux probably looking for more of a snowball as well, though I don't watch a lot of Lux lanes, so I don't really know. But
with any burst comp, you're going to fall off later against a comp that has a lot of front line. You don't see too much front, like it's bruiser tank front line and not double tank front line from Holy Divers. Like I do think they don't have as much late game scaling, but they still have a Senna. It's a straight up Senna. It's not a fasting Senna. So once again, like you're not gonna have the passive stacked as early as you would otherwise, but you're gonna get more items earlier. We'll see how Gomie Gang plays this, but we're gonna go ahead and send it to a quick break before we load into the game. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Style Esports Piltover Division Grand Finals on the Style Esports Twitch channel. Don't touch that browser. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Style Esports League Piltover Division Grand Finals. My name is Finnick, joined on the desk today by Axeman87. Gomie Gang currently up 2-0. Those Holy Divers look to make their Z9 reverse sweep dreams possible. We see the early invade coming out from Gomie Gang towards the Tri-Brush, going to be spotted by Danny Phantom. And they should back out of the way. Vision invade will be taken by Holy Divers. How are we feeling going into Game 3, Axeman?
I'm doing just fine here, Finnick. We're looking for if Holy Divers can make the comeback in this series or if they'll die a sudden death here. That is the biggest question. Sashiki gonna be walking through this bush, and they seem to know something we don't.
Oh no, Shishiki flashes, but Young Walrus with the first blood.
Yeah, this time Holy Divers with the sneaky invade gonna be able to pick up first blood. Buxdira take a lot of damage too.
Works for though. Starting out with one Young Walrus, pops the E down. This will be a red buff taken by Stolen away as it were.
Yep, stolen away there. Already big advantages coming down for Holy Divers. Can they roll this into a victory? It's going to be a long time before we find out. Stolen in the mid lane, just looking for more of a transition gank than anything else. Looking to protect his red after stealing enemy red. It's a good move. Graves could definitely look to trade that back, but as it happens, Buxdira going to be starting blue in this go around.
Doesn't feel great for the Graves, but to get put behind early by a Jarvan, especially when he wants to make these early ganks happen.
Yeah.
He's definitely going for the invade a bit. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Hook Lance on a Shishiki, level 2. Gotta be respected. Missing Link, though. Get some damage down, but Shishiki has the heals.
Yeah, that's that fourth shot we were talking about. The burst damage from Jin just coming in clutch for him. The trades are absolutely fantastic. A lot of that came down to those early assists, giving them an early level 2. Seishiki's still level 1 here, actually. So, yeah, just crazy right now. But, Young Walrus looking for the trade. Not a great trade in the mid lane there, but see if they can pick this up. Rare Candy taking a lot of damage in the bot lane.
Yeah, double binding is something you really have to be wary of when you're up against this Santa Morgana lane. You're going to see the Morgana go for the dark bind. It's the same thing as Caitlyn Morgana. It's just more weak side, less strong side, but still lots of damage. And the healing, the sustain out, is very scary. Early pickaxe taken by the Lucian here, so not sure if it's gonna be high.
Should be Manamune.
Manamune. Stolen though. Flag and drag on a Corkstir Fry. Gets the root down. TP being channeled. Stolen will fall to the auto attack. Pass Bracket Deluxe. Infernal Chains down. Gets the pullback on a Young Walrus. Looks for the third Q. Can't get the knockup. Kill goes over to Corkstir Fry though.
Yeah, unfortunate death there.
Oh, double dart. Stolen. Okay, I thought it was... He misclicked and accidentally bought 2 Dark Seals. For a second I was like, oh no. But it's a single Dark Seal, Amplifying Tome, and a potion for Pork Stir Fry.
So I guess hopeful build, if nothing else, but Buxdira is sitting in this mid lane. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you're Graves, you just keep farming. You get that massive clear speed and make it work for you, but now all of a sudden J4 with a death on him is out farming the Graves. A little strange, but you know, I guess that's happening. J4 pathing for mid lane. Instead, pinging to make a move towards Dragon. And it looks like Holy Divers are going to be able to pick up this one uncontested. 10 seconds till that Dragon spawns. But Comfy Dog is here with the vision.
Binding down onto Jen. Stolen does have Flag and Drag up. They decided to give this one over. It's going to be the Cloud Dragon.
Yeah,
nice early dragon control though. This will be the first non-stolen early dragon from Holy Divers.
Definitely, unless it gets stolen. Oh, he missed smite. Jesus. Okay. Whew. Literally, Lux just had to walk in and like just drop a W in there, and that would have been. Wait.
You mean an E?
E, yeah, E. I was like, Lux about E's? Wait a second. Dropping E in there would have had the dragon, but yeah, a little spooky. But they do pick up that first not stolen dragon, like you mentioned. It's a cloud drink, so take that with a grain of salt, but they got it now under their belts. Things going a little bit better for both sides than they have been. Ooh, that ult in the mid lane doing so much damage to Walrus, but not quite enough. Walrus is gonna be able to back out. That Lux damage starting to get pretty crazy here, Finnick.
Yeah, if he's not close enough to weave auto attacks, he'll be able to live through the full combo until she gets the what's it called? Oh no. Oh no, stolen. Oh,
Yikes.
no.
It's a lot of damage there,
Finnick. Once she gets Luden's Echo, Lucian should melt to the full combo without auto attack weaving if he's not playing, or if he gets caught in a light binding. But stolen. You can't. That seemed like a tilt play to me, like legitimately. Pork stir fry though, winning out on these trades on Lucian early. Doesn't even have the back for the lost chapter yet.
Yep, doesn't quite have that, but down the bottom line, things going pretty evenly. Calls on both sides, by the way. And I believe we also have cut down on both sides, too.
Farm lane? No, I'd never.
Oh, man. But,
add a Gangplank and a Vigor to the game, and an Assus.
Yep.
All the farm lanes.
The farm lanes in there. Lux Dira coming in for the gank.
Root up. Dark Binding is available to follow up on the root. Get it down. Vuxtira is already here, and collateral damage to pick up the kill. Vuxtira 1-0-1 on the Braves, building in towards the Warrior enchant, as it were.
Yeah, this double binding lane for Gomie has been deadly. You get hit by one, you can't help but get hit by another. I think it's a total like 6-7 seconds you're standing still. That's rough.
In the words of a certain firebender I know, that's rough, buddy.
It's real rough, buddy, but Missing Link looking to defend his turret. He's trying to clear this wave here.
And Danny Phantom with the teleport. Maelstrom flash out of the way by Shishiki was already caught in the black shield. This comfy dog had flashed. Missing Link 4. Is down a half health. Vuxtira though is around. Dashes forward. Danny Phantom not going to be able to get this Q stun down. Root will land onto the Nautilus. Looking for the follow-up damage with the Senna Q. Danny Phantom, meanwhile, going to try to kite back out. Morgana lands the binding into the Tormented Soil. Root onto Vuxtira. He will be black shielded. And no kills.
Yeah, no kills coming through here, but...
So that's a TP wasted. And an ult from Danny Phantom.
Yeah, and slicing Maelstrom as well, so... It's a lot of cooldowns, and Aatrox up in the top lane just got that wave frozen. Outside turret is sitting very pretty at the moment.
Oh, pork stir fry!
Yikes. Yeah,
Oh,
that'll do it. It feels bad.
On.
Yeah, it feels bad.
On, man. Like, that's just doing him dirty. Like, it's a good
man
point.
had a family.
I don't think Jin
boy.
actually has a family. He would probably, like, murder his wife before he would have kids.
Sounds like something
Like
Jin would
poser.
do. Rare candy.
Talk about a model life.
Taking one dark binding for the
or
road.
a trophy wave? No. It's Jin.
I see what you're saying. Okay, no, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Say Shiki, the reset, going to be interrupted there by Rare Candy with the dredge line. And no other wins for Holy Divers in the bot lane thus far. But mid lane, Walrus trying to find Lux, but Lux backed already.
This is just trolling at this point. This build is actually just trolling. Like, legitimately.
Who's trolling us, Finnick?
GLP on Dark Harvest Lux.
Seems kind of troll to me.
Legitimately trolling. Like, he knows better. He 100% knows better. I'm not going to, like, caster rage, whatever, but like you're lane swapping when you're up 2 games in a best of 5 finals. You are toxic in the in-game chat. You come into Twitch chat and
Yikes.
feels that you come into Twitch chat and you openly mock people. Just so disrespectful. Like,
here's the
this build is just
fight.
icing on the cake, but it doesn't matter. I don't care about the fight. This team can go, like, screw themselves for all I care. Like, just...
Missing Link gonna die there. 2
This is just
final
flat
spark.
disrespect. This is just flat disrespect. This is...
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely not ideal.
Like, I'm sorry. I know I have a job to do, and I'll probably never be able to cast a style after this, but go screw yourself. Flat out. Like... Alright. Like, legitimately. Alright. Back to the game.
Back to the game indeed, but not looking super good here for Holy Divers. Down a couple K gold, so nothing too bad yet. Dragon's even. And, ooh, nice dodge there from Young Walrus, but Pork Stir Fry still ending that E in the end. And Senna down the bot lane completes Man Immune for their first item. Obviously a cheaper item than the either Storm Razor or IE the Missing Link is looking to build. I don't think we'll be able to tell just yet. Yeah, I don't think there's anything telling us, but might actually be Missing Link looking for Merc Treads, which would be a little strange. I don't think normally Jin picks up Merc Treads. I think that might be...
Oh, nice Dark Binding. Or nice Black Shield, I should say.
It's a good Black Shield, dodging the Dredge line there. Definitely a few openings here. Missing Link with the CS lead, only about 10 or so. Still something. And Majai's Soul Stealer built by Pork Surf right here. Missing Link. This could be a kill.
Nah. Able to get out of the way of curtain call.
Yeah, so she can narrowly escaping that one, but things back to a bit of a lull. We might see Stolen look for a fight in the mid lane here as the Young Walrus returns to that mid lane, but ooh, fight in the bot lane.
Root down onto Rare Candy. Ignite on Missing Link. Flash forward. Nautilus will pop the ultimate, but a stopwatch away as Combi Dog will end up picking up the kill. Flash forward, gonna get the root from the Senna as the hook lands, but Rare Candy should still fall. Collateral damage to secure it, but Shishiki already got the kill.
Yeah, Pork Stir Fry. Gonna be missing the Q there, but the E is all you need at this stage of the game for Lux. Take a look at the Sea of Red Vision down through the bot side river. Holy Divers doing their best to keep tabs on that Lux. Don't want to get final sparks from outside vision again. Feels super bad, but now it's Danny Phantom. Stolen. Young Walrus looking for the kill on the Lux.
Danny Phantom now on a Pork Stir Fry. Colan gonna be pumped, but he doesn't get much damage. Lux will get the ultimate down on a Danny Phantom, but can't get the kill. Ignite. So Young Walrus ends up getting the kill on a Vuxdira.
Yeah, Vuxdira. Yeah, it does go down that fight. I think the positioning was probably justified. Obviously, there's a lot of damage coming out of this Lux, and I think wanting to support that, probably a noble goal. Obviously, couldn't have predicted that both Danny Phantom and Stolen and I don't think Breck Candy was on that fight, but oh, here we go.
Shishiki's got to be very careful there.
Definitely in the 1v2 there, but still a lot of sustain left for the Senna. Breck Candy may be looking for the fight. Hook misses. That Q hook hitbox does troll the Nautilus
Flash
sometimes.
Forward, Missing Link onto Sasiki.
Yeah, couldn't quite get that force shot down. But double buffs now for the Lucian. This is going to be another gank. Here comes Stolen, but there's Vision there, so.
Flag and drag on a pork stir fry right back into the Cataclysm. He's able to get the root down back into the final spark. Gets the damage with the collateral damage. Vuxzero gets the kill on a stolen. Meanwhile, Comfy Dog, Rare Candy, trying to push out Missing Link 4. Comfy Dog. Maybe in a bit of trouble. Not all ultimate
curtain call.
Call that should be 2 kills. Sasiki going to fall as Aatrox TP's bot lane. Pork Stir Fry, meanwhile, in the mid lane, might be in a bit of trouble. Flash forward from Young Walrus. Gets the kill down on a Pork Stir Fry. The shutdown onto the Lux might be responded in kind by Kind Words Only. Able to get the knockup down on Rare Candy. Looks for the 3rd Q, and Kind Words Only goes on a killing spree. 3 for 2 in favor of Holy Divers.
Yeah, the rare good Aatrox game we're seeing. Don't see too many of those in Style Esports League. Danny Phantom and Young Walrus showing in mid. It's just Vuxzero there to stop them. And he is going to nonetheless. Dragon has spawned. Don't think either side could be looking for that one just yet. Nobody really with the bodies, but even as I say, Vuxzero pathing towards the dragon here. Might be looking for that for the Gomie gang.
Yeah. Cameras only. Knock up on Walrus.
Yeah, so one update. Walrus not actually going for Mana Immune. Built the pickaxe, then rolled that into BF Sword.
I just thought that.
Yeah, it's going for, I guess, IE, I think, builds out of those items.
Yeah, there we go. IE, Flash for Infernal Chains, Kenner's only. Already popped the World Ender. Here comes the ultimate from the cannon. Shutdown lands from the culling. Lucian picks that one up.
For sure. Both teams posturing around the dragon at the moment. But it's looking like Gomie gang are going to be able to take this uncontested. Rare Candy maybe looking for the steal. Decides better of it. It is actually going to be the Rift Herald startup for Holy Divers. And Stolen might actually die. Nope. No, he's got Smite. It's going to be fine. They trade objective for objective, but obviously the plating is down. So Rift Herald not as useful. They're going to be taking this top, I'm pretty sure.
Pork Stir Fry, though. Sunned up by Danny Phantom's Q. He's going to try to get this tower in recompense for the top tower. And he will. Meanwhile, Missing Link and Rare Candy feeling alright bot side. As top turret will actually not fall into the Rift Herald. Aatrox was there in time. Currently dead even in gold as we move into the mid game.
Yeah, so this is probably Holy Diver's best game yet here on the Rift. Rare Candy and Missing Link looking for the kill on the Saishiki. They step forward.
Depth charge, flash to stay alive. Saishiki should be able to stay alive. Meanwhile, Danny Phantom might be in a bit of trouble here. Caught in the Infernal Chains, won't be able to get the Q down though.
All right, and I think we lost track of Finnick there for a second, but it is going to be the action on the Kind Words Only. Absolutely deleted in the top lane by Danny Phantom and Stolen. Just taken out there. Young Walrus was on their way, but didn't end up needing them at the end of the day. And now, yeah, it looked like poor Stir Fry was walking up there to try and help, but yeah, there was just no time. Aatrox went down super fast, and it's a lot of burst damage from this comp, right? You know, the cannon, you got the Lucian, and all that is coming down to one target. It's a heal-based champion, but burst damage counters that almost directly and just can't out-heal the damage coming through. Saishiki just perma-farming in the bot lane, trying to catch up with Missing Link. Take a look at the individual gold here. Yeah, it's like an 800 gold lead for the Jhin. Not looking too good for the Senna in terms of the 1v1. But here we go.
I mean,
both teams just kind of looking for vision right now. I think we got Finnick back.
Can't keep bleeding out. Yeah, apologies for that. I misclicked when I was in Discord and accidentally disconnected. Sasiki, though, gonna be rooted up by the Deadly Flourish. Vuxzero is here. Flag and Drag. It's a 2v4. You get Walrus goes unstoppable. He has the IE and the Rapid Fire Cannon, so he's really going for that. He's really going for, you know, the full crit build here. So next item probably not going to be Essence Reaver. I mean, it could be. I still think it's possible, but we'll see which crit item he decides to build next. Regardless, top lane turret falls.
Yep, Young Walrus completes IE, also the Rapid Fire Ganon. And I think
Like
you
a dragon
mentioned
and
that.
Cataclysm, Pork Stir Fry gonna flash out of the way. Flash.
Oh, flash in!
Yeah, well, Young Walrus just yeets him. As missing Link. Pops the curtain call.
Now all of a sudden, Holy Divers looking like they're pretty strong for the first time in the series. So it might be a little bit of a change. It might be going to game 4 here, Fennec. I'm excited about that. Dragon not spawning for another minute 20 seconds, but Baron is up. A little early to do Baron, especially when both sides are so big on the burst damage. Haven't seen too many Ashes this series. I think we saw one game 1. That was about it. Young Walrus dodges the Dark Bind in the mid lane. Would have spelled certain death for the Lucian. And boy, oh boy, has this game ever been a lull state. I mean, it's not like we're all late game champions either, so just kind of a slow one. Obviously, Holy Divers trying to play this one slow as they are on sudden death here in game 3. And that is definitely the way to play sudden death games, is nice and slow. Say Shaky backing off the mid lane, drag up in 40 seconds.
Decap going to be the next purchase for Pork Stir Fry here. After which I would almost like to see a Lich Bane. I think it's a very good item on Lux late. It scales very well. Buxtira though, caught up by the calling. Will end up following to Young Walrus. As Danny Phantom gets rooted up.
Yeah, pretty crazy. The Young Walrus was having a tough time in the early game, but all of a sudden we hit like 18 minutes, just started popping off. Lucian doing very well in the mid lane, in the mid game so far. Excuse me. Picking up a Zeal there on top of his 2 items already. Rare Candy gets nailed by a snare there. Takes a lot of help.
Danny Phantom, Slice of Maelstrom goes down. Pork Stir Fry will be able to stay alive as we see the Infernal Chains come down. Ultimate from the Jarvan, but he lines up stolen right for the final spark. Missing Link though. We taking that very low, rooted up by the Senna. Won't be able to find follow-up damage quite yet, and the flash over the wall to stay alive. Jarvan will fall. It's 1 for 0. As the Dragon is available. Soul Point potentially on the table for Gomie Gang. If they can complete on the play. Danny Phantom might be caught out though. Flash forward. Infernal Chains not going to be taken, but Shishiki will end up picking up the kill regardless. That will be Infernal Dragon and Soul Point for Gomie Gang.
Yeah, that bonus range on Senna super nasty. 53 stacks of the passive so far. Looking very, very good on the Senna. And yeah, just scaling up nicely. Obviously, not as much power as Missing Link, as they are cheaper items. The Yomu's Ghostblade and also the Mana Mune. But they're just fine as far as item spikes, and with those souls, the stats from the souls factored in. Senna doing tons of damage here.
Yeah, I just
All right, that's
wait
Zeal.
for the Soul Point. Yeah, the Zeal will be building a static shift. I wasn't sure which Zeal item he would actually build. It'll help with the wave clear and actually get the AoE damage in the team fights because he doesn't have any real good ways to access onto the Senna. Caulfield's Warhammer though, so either going to be a Black Cleaver or an Essence Reaver. A bit late for an IE or for an ER, but I think it's fine here. Black Cleaver not the best item, so I think it's going to be the Essence Reaver. But
I was gonna say Death's Dance might be an option.
Oh yeah, definitely. I forgot about Death's Dance. That's a lot of Caulfields.
Yeah, it could be something they're going for. I feel like if you're gonna build Death's Dance, you might build the Vampire Scepter
Aegis
first, though. So yeah, or the Aegis. So I'm not 100%. The CDR isn't bad on Lucian, so you know maybe that's what he's looking for too.
I mean, Essence Reaver was like his first item for a long time, so
yeah, absolutely.
Like you don't need to go 100% crit. I think if you go, I don't know what his CDR is at right now, but I think technically if you go Essence Reaver into, I should check his CDR stat. He's only at 10% CDR.
Okay, so that was his first 10%.
Missing Link, very low. We'll be able to kite back though. Tops the final curtain and able to get onto 2. Double kill for the Jarvan. Will be traded back onto the Lucian. That is a shutdown.
Ooh.
Oh, that was a great final spark. Rare Candy will end up falling to Flux here as they look for the follow-up chase. Comfy Dog is here, has the binding as well as Spark Starfire has light binding. That's 2 bindings available. Flag and Drag comes down as the E picks up the kill onto the Gen. Light binding, 1 more auto attack, and we'll go over to the Morgana. 4 for 2 in favor of Gomie Gang. Crap. What I was gonna say is you could go Essence Reaver and then build Dust Dance for Young Walrus.
No, I don't like this.
Yeah, it is Essence Reaver. It is Essence Reaver next.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be Essence River.
Danny
Danny
Phantom,
Phantom.
though. I don't know about this one, Pete.
Yeah,
I don't know about this one, Pete. I don't know about this one.
Yeah, no, that was pretty crazy, but yeah, I don't like the itemization here from Stolen. I don't think you ever buy Maw Malicious. I'm not just saying that here. I'm saying like ever for any reason. If you want to buy Hex Drinker, cool. It's real edgy. Not a lot of people are doing that. If you buy Maw, you're trolling.
I think Hex Drinkers. I think you need complete Maw if you buy Hex Drinker, just like much later in the game than you're doing it right now.
Oh yeah, not first item.
Yeah, I mean he is going for Warrior Jarvan, so I think like it makes. I think it makes a little bit of sense, right? To go Hex Drinker instead of like Adaptive Helm because you're going Warrior instead of Cinderhulk. First Surfer though might be caught out here. Gets a nice binding down, flash out of the way of the Cataclysm, but culling was already there and the shutdown lands.
Yep, Dark Binding here on Super Rare Candy. Not gonna have any follow-up. Another binding onto Rare Candy. Still no follow-up. And another
binding on Rare Candy. Still no follow-up.
Rare Candy is just eating these bindings. But here's the follow-up.
Positive collateral damage. Can't actually get the execute on a missing link, though. Senna did also pop the ulti. Dawning Shadow, as it were.
So how many seconds total was Rare Candy standing still? I think like 12, right? For 3 bindings?
Honestly, Dark Binding's only 2.25 seconds. Vextier ends up finally getting the kill on a missing link 4 there.
So
mistake.
Let's see. Maybe 8 seconds?
Last Embrace is 2 seconds. So that's
gotcha.
4.25 seconds, and then Light Binding is a total of 2 seconds. So that's 6.25 seconds.
Gotcha.
On top lane, Infernal Chains down on a Danny Phantom. Flag and Drag though. Possible World Ender, Slicing Maelstrom already comes down, looking for the 3rd Q. Won't be able to find it on Stolen as he is going to be stunned up by the Flag and Drag. Looks for a bit more damage. 1st Q down, 2nd Q as well. Stunned up once again by the cannon as the Flag and Drag takes him over the wall. Here comes Young Walrus. Infernal Chains down. Danny Phantom's very low. Flashes out of the way and Stolen picks up the kill onto the Aatrox. That was a bit dicey, but they come out ahead.
Yeah, a bit dicey there. They also lose Dragon Soul over it, so as well played as that was to kill the Aatrox.
I don't know about this one though. Dragon Soul on a burst team is just so good.
Yeah, no, I know all about this, Finnick. This is a no. We should not have done this.
Yeah, yeah. Infernal Soul on a burst team is insanely good. Like,
yep.
It's, yeah. You know,
it's gonna be like playing with cheat codes from here on out for Gomie Gang. Excuse me. Vextier might be out of position.
Cataclysm, but Vextier has already dashed over the wall. Here comes the final spark. Not able to get the kill as the flank comes in from the cannon. Comfy Dog will pop the stop launch, rooted up, will get shut down. Rare Candy will be taken down very low. Last curtain, or I should say curtain call, will end up being taken down by the gym as TP will be channeled here from kind words only. 3 for 2. For the knockup, 1st Q, 2nd Q, Danny Phantom falls, is missing like 4, will flash over, trying to get on the Senna, but Stolen ends up getting caught up. In the Infernal Chains, kind words only now. World Ender has been popped, already has the reset, double kill. Will be a 4 for 4, is missing like 4, will be able to stay alive.
For the time being, anyway, kind words only is still on the hunt here. And he's walking over Vision, so Missing Link's not going to stop now. Yeah, he's going to walk out of there eventually. But yeah, Conrad's only just doing so much damage here on the Aatrox. Despite dying to the 2v1, those 5v5 straight-up fights, the Aatrox is going to be absolutely busted in those. So, yeah, where Holy Divers might have been taking some of these early team fights, I don't know anymore. I mean, I feel like Final Spark is at a point where it's actually, like, where it was game-changing. Now it's, yeah, like, if you hit it, like, you just win the team fight. Like, even on half of Holy Divers right now, Conrad's only looking to escape. They got the lockdown. They got the damage.
Stops the Infernal Chains from going through with the depth charge, which is also really
missed
nice.
the
He has
root, missed
ignited
the
up.
hook. That might be it, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep walking after him. I think that's it, boys. But elsewhere, not really too much to get. It's just a Baron right now. Elder Dragon got a longer cooldown than normal dragons, but it's gonna be Holy Divers. I'm hoping they look for a pick. That's what they need to be doing right now. Is just
So
looking for a
Yomar
pick.
decides against the Death Stance and instead is going into a Last Whisper item. Probably going to be Mortal Reminder, considering the fact that there's an Aatrox on the other team. But LDR literally does nothing against the enemy team. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you see the randomness completely there for the Aatrox too, and I think the Last Whisper is probably a response to that. I would like to see more heal cut.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Mortal Reminder, because it's an Aatrox. Like,
yeah. I'm thinking, like, even in place of Last Whisper, I mean, there's not a big front line
Mortal
enemy team or
Reminder.
anything.
I mean, either way, it builds into a heal cut item. Right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, which one do you want to get first?
I want to go for heal cut.
I mean, I would go for the heal cut first too, but I think there is something to be said about like the Randuin's being a bit of an issue, and the percent magic or the percent armor pen really does help.
Yeah, it helps with those base stats for sure, but man, Gomie still looking pretty strong despite the incredibly fed Lucian on Holy Divers.
Yeah,
Ooh,
nice root
rare
though. Down
candy.
is the Infernal Chains. Rare Candy goes down. World Ender going to be popped, and a nice bit of a final spark. He got the kill on a Danny Phantom stolen. Meanwhile, chased out of the fight by Sasiki. Will end up popping the Cataclysm, but he still gets taken out and double kill for the Senna. And that will be the Baron to Gomie gang.
Yeah, and they just kind of leave the carriers without any support staff, which is about as good as killing them here. Finnick, they can't really go for any kind of engage. Young Walrus is going to shove down mid, maybe get at least something, but kind words only is going to peel off here. This might be a dead Lucian. Actually, no. Okay, cool. So they pick up that mid turret. That's something, but they lose Baron in the process, which is not great. Now it's going to be the Infernal Soul comboed on top of the Baron, and Elder up in minute 30. That would give Gomie Clash Gang, I think, just the trifecta they need to finally end this game.
Meanwhile, Senna actually outscored the RFC here. I think this is pretty common on straight ADC Senna, if I'm not mistaken. Just because you don't get as much attack range as early as possible. She does now have 87 stacks though, so does have quite a bit of extra attack range. It's just the RFC helps with that, and puts her crit level up to I think like 87 at the moment.
She got 88 now. Yeah, she just picked up another one, so that's a lot of range. What's the bonus range at? Hold on, I'll try to see if I can track
so
down.
89 stacks, 66.75 AD. What's her extra crit chance at?
Yeah, it's a 100 bonus
60,
range.
So she's at 85% crit chance right now.
Yeah, so just massive right now. But that infinite scaling is really something else. Jin, I believe, has finally now, fallen behind the Senna 2,000 gold. So
This man went LDR instead of
Dominus Regards. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. I don't know what he's seeing, the armor that needs to be cut. I mean,
like Morgana has armor and so does Aatrox, but I do think Aatrox's healing is more of a threat than the armor. Comfy Dog though gets deleted. The final spark already comes through. Gonna kill on it to Danny Phantom, missing like 4, gonna be taken out very low flag and track Cataclysm combo. Missing like 4 will end up getting taken down as the root lands on the Vux Dira. He's still able to get the kill. Has the GA available. I should have looked actually at his items instead of just the effects, so he doesn't actually have GA. But we'll be at 4 for 4.
yeah, and I'm still harping on the same point. I think we made it 3 or 4 times now, but imagine this fight again with Young Walrus having heal cut. I mean, that Aatrox doesn't survive.
The Aatrox stays alive.
Yeah, the Aatrox survives like everything right now. Do you solo Elder? I think you have to. Can he in time? I don't know.
you can't do that without distance.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. He's doing a lot of damage.
Well, actually, you're speaking of LDR. I mean,
big brain. LDR to solo
Here
Elder
comes
Whip.
Elder
He's
Whip.
got it. That's
Four-man
amazing.
Elder on a solo. Yeah, you know.
Okay.
100% grip with armor shred. You know, it works. It works. I mean,
I guess LDR, big brain. I don't know. Hey, man.
I feel like the 25% versus the 35%. Mortal Reminder. I think that bought him the I think that bought him the 2 seconds necessary.
It was close. I mean, HR's was right there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 4-man Elder up against a 0-man Baron at the moment, but you still are up against an Infernal Soul. So you do have to worry about that, even if you have the true damage.
Yeah, for sure. So. Death Dance finally completed here for Stolen. I feel like it should have been first item, but hey, man, I just cast the games, but now has that completed. So, ooh, Dark Binding onto the J4. Gonna be able to dodge a little bit of that damage with the Flank and Drag though. As Jin approaches full build, Lucian has already hit that stage, and Luck's getting close, about half item away.
I think you buy a Death Stance. Like when you have the gold for it, I think you just sell boots and buy Death Stance if you're Lucian.
For Lucian, yeah. I mean, they could be pretty good, yeah.
Not quite full build, I should say, just because he has the boots. But
yeah, so Holy Divers, they have the Elder Dragon buff, which is big. I don't know.
96 souls though.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of just bouncing waves into a team that infinitely scales, so I don't know how valuable this is. Well, into a Senna that infinitely scales anyway, you know? And the Senna picks up souls no matter who kills it, who kills the minions. Ooh, Final Spark.
Used to clear the wave.
Well, that'll do it. And I think that's all she wrote for the Elder buff. It should be dropping a couple seconds. There it goes now. And they will be backing off. Did they kill anybody during the Elder buff? I don't think so. But I think denying it from Gomie is also, fairly valuable. I definitely think Gomie could have ended the game off of that Elder take if they had taken it, and they definitely would have Young Walruston soloed up. So well done on that front. Baron coming up in 15 seconds. It should be Gomie that are able to pick this up, but it won't be uncontested. It will be Holy Divers that are here to try and steal that away. Can Stolen live up to his name? We will find out. It's the Death Bush from Gomie. Danny Phantom Stolen are making their way to it.
Oh no, the catch lands on a Danny Phantom and he goes down very quickly. Conrad's only now diving into the backliners. He sees Stolen, ends up getting yeeted by the Lux. 2 for 0, and they're not going to continue the fight, instead opting to peel towards the Baron. Stir Fry gets a binding, right back down.
Oh my.
Unfortunate for the Lucian.
I really didn't think that would kill him, but that actually did like 1,500 damage.
So yes, Final Spark has how much AP scaling actually? I believe it has 100. No, it's like 90% AP scaling because it does 764 bonus damage. That's 1264 total damage on Final Spark.
Yeah, that'd do it.
Wait, no, never mind. I goofed. It does 100% AP scaling. I forgot about the AP you get from Baron.
Yikers. That would do it even better. Inner in the mid lane gonna go down here. Gomie gang still pushing. It's a 2-man push. That's all they need at this rate, though. Especially with the Baron empowered minions. And Infernal Soul. I don't think we've talked about that in a while.
Atrox gonna pop the ulti, going back down on Missing Link 4 is Danny Phantom, tries to find his way to Pork Stir Fry, gets the Slicing Maelstrom, but he still gets taken out by Sasiki. Conrad's only taking up the tower, gonna be caught out, but the stopwatch keeps the Nautilus alive just in time for the final spark. Pork Surfer had a killing spree, though, as he's able to pick up the kill regardless. Flash out of the way from Shisiki. Stays alive thanks to the shielding of the Lux. It's going to be a 4-for-0. Lucian has respawned here, but that should be game, set, match, series, and season for Gomie Gang. Young Walrus taken down very low, and that's going to be it. Your Piltover Division champions, everybody, Gomie Gang, after a 3-0 series.
Yep, and yeah, Young Walrus gonna go down finally there for the ace, and Gomie Gang, they pick up the victory here, the dub in the 3-0 series, but definitely well played by them. But I think we're gonna go ahead and end the broadcast there, folks. Thanks so much for watching. This has been the Style Esports League on the Style Esports channel. I'm Max97. He's Finnick. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.